Diamond Jack slider.
Give me an Italian spice slider.
Italian spice slider.
What's that spell?
It doesn't really spell anything.
New Subway sliders starting at $1.99 each. Go Sliders!
Subway, make it what you want.
Half a day. This is Alicia Blas from Security Title with a gentle reminder that your first installment of property taxes is due February 20. You might not know, but if you purchase property after March 4, 2019, you most likely will not receive a tax bill in the mail, but you still owe the tax. To make payment, take a copy of your deed to Revenue Tax in Barragata and ask for the tax bill. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Half a day and good morning. It's 6:06. I'm Ana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news from the Guam Daily Post. Police are on the scene of a fatal crash on Marine Corps Drive in Upper Tumon. The crash taking place just before 5 this morning when a white sedan ran off the road and crashed into a wall at the Tossie 17 condominiums. Police on the scene say the driver may have been speeding when he lost control of the vehicle. They say he may have also been drunk. Southbound traffic along that portion of the road is blocked off while the crash is being investigated. As the Guam Chamber of Commerce made a follow-up appeal for the Guam legislature and the governor to work toward delaying Guam's minimum wage increase, one local restaurant said it's already been forced to cut back on business hours as tourist customers have dwindled. Kaylee Smoke and Grill, located in the heart of Tumon, has seen a drastic drop in tourist customers. Dennis Rainier, general manager of this Kaylee Smoke and Grill, says that there's usually a good lunch crowd, but now it's just empty. And until everything goes back to normal, the restaurant's new hours are from 5 to 10 p.m. daily, starting Monday. Lunchtime it's just not worth keeping open. The Guam Visitors Bureau stated Tuesday that 15,000 tourists have already canceled their travel plans to Guam. That's a collective loss of about $9 million in tourist revenue. The Guam Chamber of Commerce is asking for a 6-month delay in the minimum wage increase, which takes effect on March 1st. They say this will further help businesses, especially those in tourism, deal with a blow to their revenues. The governor says she cannot hold back the increase. The legislature is yet to respond to the plea. In 9 months from February to October of 2019, more than $66,000 was spent on travel by senators and staff of the legislature. And this has one Republican senator looking at ensuring that future travel is justified. Senator Jim Moylan filed a resolution to require senators and their staff to file a travel justification report. Of the total $66,781 noted in the legislature's travel summary, Senator Regine Bisco-Lee accrued the most at $16,767 travel costs, followed by Senator Tello Taidagui with $9,500 in travel costs, and Senator Amanda Shelton with $9,100, according to the travel summary filed on the legislative website. While all who traveled submitted required documents, Moylan's resolution would require additional information that shows how the island benefited from the travel. More news after this.
Cocoa Coffee Company is now available at Circle K. Single-origin coffee beans carefully sourced and locally roasted to give you the freshest cup of coffee Guam has to offer. Grab a cup that's brewed every 30 minutes or purchase a bag of the locally roasted whole beans. Flavors now serving: light medium roasted Ethiopia and medium dark roasted Jamaican Blue Mountain. Exclusively available at Circle K. With every Cocoa Coffee Company purchase, a portion of the proceeds will go towards the Cocoa Recovery Program.
A registered sex offender is back in jail after he's accused of inappropriately touching a 15-year-old girl. 36-year-old Anthony Troy Tenorio is charged with failure to register and a change of address with the Guam Sex Offender Registry and criminal sexual conduct. Investigators were looking into the sexual conduct report when they discovered that Tenorio failed to report his new address. He'd previously been convicted on sex assault charges back in 2005. The victim in that case was 13 at the time. A woman accused of setting a home on fire last month in Ipan wants to plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge. 49-year-old Ray Roberto was indicted by a Superior Court of Guam's grand jury on charges of arson as a third-degree felony and 2 counts of criminal mischief as a third-degree felony. Defense attorney Curtis Vandeveld told the court Roberto has signed a deferred plea deal with the government. He entered the deferred plea on her behalf to charges of negligent burning as a misdemeanor. Back in January, Roberto allegedly got into an argument with a man before taking a 10-pound weight and damaging 2 vehicles parked in the front yard. Several people inside the home say that she tried to set fire to a mattress in the bedroom and to towels and clothing, among other things. The witnesses said that they were able to stop most of the fires. At one point, a family member had to pull the defendant out of the house because one of the fires had spread. Roberto is scheduled back in court before presiding Judge Alberto Lamarena on February 24th. And the Boy Scouts of America's Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing does impact the growing number of sex abuse lawsuits filed against the organization. That includes the cases filed on Guam. The case is already in the process of being transferred and combined with all of the pending sex abuse claims against the Boy Scouts. The bankruptcy case filed in Delaware will allow the Boy Scouts to bring all of the lawsuits into one court and try to negotiate a settlement rather than using the organization's funds to fight each case in court, which might leave some victims with nothing, according to Reuters. Guam attorneys Patrick Seville, who represents the Boy Scouts on Guam, filed a notice of transfer of the Guam case to the Delaware District Court. And those are some of your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Here now is Ray with your weather.
Says, breezy today. Partly cloudy skies with isolated light showers. Northeast winds 20 to 25 miles an hour. Daytime highs today should be about 87 degrees. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, more of those isolated light showers. Very isolated. I haven't seen it rain in a couple of days now. 10 to 20 mile an hour winds and overnight lows of about 74 degrees. This is going to mean something for fire danger ratings out there because we've got so many of these breezes going on. Not a whole lot by way of rain, and we've got some decent sunshine that is pouring over the island today, and that's why chunks of the south are on fire all the time. High risk of rip currents, too, through Sunday night along east-facing reef, so be careful when you get out there. Sunrise this morning at 6:42, but I've got some great shots coming in of sunrise. This one here looks like it's taken around the Ganya Heights, Sinahanya area, looking north towards Barragata Heights and the upper Tumon area. Looking absolutely gorgeous out there today. So sunrise at 6:42, that's when they'll break the plane. Another half hour or so from now. Sunset tonight, a little bit later, 6:27. So we round up the usual suspects, get something cool to drink as you enjoy the sun going down on another beautiful Guam day that we're about to get started here in just seconds. It's 6:12. That's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 65 years.
Yikes, are those Christmas bills coming in? Wait, hold on, that was last month. Now it's this month. But by popular demand, we're extending our New Year's solution 4.65% personal loan through February. Money for whatever you want at 4.65% APR from Bank Pacific. We're still celebrating.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender as low as 4.65%. Conditions apply.
Docomo Pacific wants to keep your business connected. When you sign up for a smart business bundle, you're gaining more than just mobile, internet, and phone services. Receive unbeatable value for your money and the convenience of having it all on one bill. All your business services on the widest and fastest network in Guam and the Marianas. Call 688-2677 for more information on partnering your business. Docomo Pacific Business, delivering your future today.
Gotcha. 6:13 in the morning. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Denny's with value meals for value deals like their pancake puppies, spam sandwich, French toast slam, classic burger, loaded chicken skillet, loco moco, and plenty more. Don't break the bank. Stop on by Denny's today. And American Present Lines, global presence with a local home.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Can I get a motion to start the program? Can I get a motion to start the program?
Motion to start the program.
Just somebody second the motion.
Here.
Thank you so much, 88. So I figure if one of us wins the election, one of us is going to need to know a few things about parliamentary procedure.
Okay.
Can I? What's the deal? Do I just get up and go,
Mr.
Speaker?
I'll give you a book on Robert's Rules.
They have that?
Yes, they do.
Lucky us.
And in fact, each senator will get one.
Mm-hmm. In the training process?
Yeah, they give you a book.
Are you telling me some of these people have been trained on it? We still get the mess that we get? Is that?
Well, I don't know about training, but
Gotta
you need to
read the
you
thing.
got to read the book.
All right. 888-255-888-TA. Okay, that's my telephone number, and that's how you get to talk to Real Joe Cruz. Somebody talking to him right now. We've got to start off with some fairly heavy news here this morning. My WhatsApp's been going off since about 4 o'clock, 4:30. Captain Paul Tapau of the Guam Police Department reporting that it's going to be a suck day for traffic southbound Marine Corps Drive, as you indicated in your report over by the Nissan area, Carlos Heights, and Tossie 17.
Yeah,
that area is
right in front of Tossie. In fact, because I ran there this morning,
Yeah.
the car crashed right into the entranceway of Tossie 17. So
I do
it was
not
pretty
have an
bad.
update on this, but the latest I've got from Paul Tapau, road closure. All southbound lanes from Route 1, Carlos Heights, to Nissan closed. All traffic into and out from Santos Hill will be closed as well. Motorists are asked to seek alternative routes, and the story continues to develop. Apparent fatal crash on Marine Corps Drive in that area. So
Well, I only
so
saw
all-
one car, but there may have been more.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
As I said,
And so
developing.
There was an officer on the scene that did tell me that it was a fatality. So
Samana actually ran by
Well,
the thing.
I ran through it, and they told me to stop because I didn't, oblivious to the world around me. They actually made me cross the street because it was the scene.
That was the same side
Yeah.
as the scene of the accident. All right, so across the street and then finish up with the run. At any rate, so southbound Marine Corps Drive in that area, it ain't going to happen for you. I don't have an update on it, and I'll keep an eye on the traffic gizmo to let you know what's happening. But if you're coming in from the northern end of Guam, trying to get through that area,
And it's going to be pretty nasty because there's a lot of folks that go to St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of folks that go to
Pia
What else?
Marine is in that area. Nissan, of course, Infusion.
and then JFK.
Yeah. So
it's gonna
southbound
be really
traffic is
bad.
going to be snagged. You're going to need to take alternate routes. Unfortunately, the nearest alternate route through there is probably going to be getting you through the Harmon area, Route 16. So take that turn at Route 16. And, yeah, I think the only other option that you're going to have is make that turn onto the 10 Alpha where the airport is, and then through there from Marine Corps Drive. Then you can go northbound to get to some of those destinations if it's vital that you do that. But it's going to be a tough morning for southbound commuters from the north to the central part of the island. 6:17 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK. You can also WhatsApp me stuff if you want to get started that way. 988-5874. That's 988-5874. Got that lovely picture of the sunrise from central Guam facing north towards Barragata Heights, and the airport. Can hardly wait to see what the rest of that sunrise looks like. So don't take your eyes off the sunrise. If it starts getting really pretty, I'm going to need to know about that. 6:18 in the morning. Other stars of the program all lined up here on Facebook Live.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Number one today, Sherry Iriarty. Congratulations to you. Outstanding. You beat James. You beat Ismail's not even in the top 10 today. You know why? Because he was busy writing a poem. Rico Blancafloor's online. James Howard at number 3. I got Michelle Peer, the art correspondent for the Ray Gibson Show, online. Dennis Benzer is hanging out with us early this morning. J.B. St. Nicholas, Alex Afflegui, Carl L.Z. Blas. Bennett Duane is from Family Finance, is in the top 10 this morning. And rounding it out at number 10 is Bus Stop Betty. That's Pam Duval, wondering what's going on with her mayor up in Jigo and when we're going to get things cleaned up and abandoned cars moved. I'm having the same problem, believe it or not. I feel bad because I always say nice things about my mayor, Rudy Paco. He's a nice guy and he keeps the village clean and everything. But a few days ago, and this has become now my quest. It consumes me as I make the turn to get to my place over by Benson. As I make the turn, I think out loud to myself, I wonder if the car is still there. The car that somebody from the mayor's office put a placard, a warning on that said, if you don't move this vehicle within 48 hours, it will be towed at your expense. Get it off the side of the road. It's impeding traffic. I took that picture on Sunday, and the car was still there at 4:25, 4:30 this morning. And I'm going, what's the point of issuing warnings? If you remember when Obama did that? He says, this red line here, you will not cross this red. And then they crossed it, and he said, no, I mean this red line. This is the red line. If you cross this, bad things will happen to you. So I'm just, I'm worried. I'm worried about you, Rudy. The credibility of the mayor's office is at stake here. And my impressions of you are at stake here. Come on, I'm new in the village here. You want me saying nice things about you when it gets to be re-election time, right? 20 after the hour, and who else is playing around? I got Gus Castro DeSangus with an interesting comment aimed at business. I suppose the business community in general. Nobody's going to give the guy over at Kaylee Smoke and Grill a hard time about some of the issues that he is facing. But Gus says maybe island-wide we've got to learn to diversify our local economy and talk about businesses, talk about industry that aren't so reliant on the military and tourism. Wow, wouldn't it be great if we could do that? Wouldn't it? We just snap our fingers and all of a sudden, bang, we've got this new industry. We're all gonna waiting and see what happens with the cannabis. But is that going to help when generally outbound travel from all of the markets is off by almost 30%? I don't know about that. Pam Duvall says, Jimmy Moylan, way to go. I think I know what that story's about. We'll get there. Tony Mendiola, I get Lynn, Vince, Borja, Polino, Carl, Leon Guerrero Blas. Charlene Marchessault is up early this morning, making sure that I'm running all of her commercials. Juanita Machi, good morning to Mark Cruz and Josephine Blas. Dennis says, I was awake until 2 a.m. and didn't feel anything down here in Telefofo. There apparently was an earthquake.
Oh, I didn't feel it.
See, I didn't feel it either.
that?
Joe?
I didn't feel anything.
Okay, then it didn't happen.
When was this?
This
Like
morning
right
sometime.
now,
I don't
or
know.
when?
That was one of the other things that woke me up. I got a note here from Jenna Blas that said for immediate... When did she send this thing? I don't have a timestamp. For immediate release, the U.S. Geological Survey recorded an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 5.2 that struck southwest of Malesso, depth of 10 kilometers. This was at about 1:54 this morning.
Oh.
Wow. I was on NyQuil.
There's no way I would. Nope. I was already 2 tuna sandwiches in. That turned out to be dinner last night.
Awake,
I got the
but I
tuna
didn't
sandwiches,
feel it.
went to bed. Yeah, and I didn't feel the thing either. So that's the rule, guys. If we didn't feel it, then it didn't happen. So just keep that in mind when it's time for headline time. Josephine Blas, like I said, is online. Keena McCausland saying happy birthday to Auntie/Nina Tony Taitano from Jigo. Last name Taitano. Yeah, you can make a pretty safe assumption there from up there. Eric Rosario is online. I got Mark Waven, Gary Shawnalls. Have a day off to Thailand. I'll be sure to put lime in the Corona when you get there. See, Gary, that's the scary thing, right? And I suppose that's one of the reasons why outbound travel from here might be off as well, because we're all scared that we're going to go someplace, and while we're there, they'll get put on some kind of quarantine list. And when we got to come back to Guam, Lulian Gura will say, not you. You went to Thailand. I bet you play basketball too, right? Yeah, we don't like basketball players from anywhere. So you have to stay out. That's the scary thing, and that's one of the things that pops into my head, because I got a couple of things going on where I could get on an airplane and go someplace, but I don't know. What's that, Richard Leon saying? Coronavirus invasion overwhelms Guam's tourism. All Governor Lil Lulian Guerrero's fault. Brain fart optics. There's a new phrase. We'll see if we can use that all the time. Tony Kaminga watching the program from Washington State. Good morning, Maria Carbolito, John Taitano, and Jules Elmer. Ed Massey saying good morning to Ray and Mana. That's nice. Songi Guam, Heather Perez, and Sandra De Leon Guerrero says moving to... Sandra's having apparently she's got a 7-minute delay as well. I checked the delay a couple of minutes ago, and it's only about 30 seconds from when the words literally escape my mouth to when you see them on Facebook Live. Don't know what's going on. If your mileage may vary. But I did restarts and resets and all kinds of stuff yesterday to make sure that everything was as close to real time as possible. Joy and Pinko, good morning to Gabrielle Williams. Nice to see you. Jess Mendiola. Zoe Franquez has seconded the motion and has authorized the start of the Ray Gibson Show for Thursday morning. Oh, my God, it's Thursday. Patrick Bumba, good morning to you, bro. Kenny Williams, Ruben Olivas, and Candy Knudsen Guzman has got her Facebook Live all cranked up. Nice. Dwayne Santos and Lorna. Oh, it's our running pal, Lorna Anikas is online. What's the 5K this weekend? What grand prize raffle are you going to win? Anne-Marie Sablon Trousseau, Vivian Cunningham, who was looking dashing last night as she was literally dashing through the downtown Agutnia area. Craig Chon and Jereru Magalai Lado. Am I saying that right? Guerrero? Maybe that's Guerrero.
You got me. I have no idea.
We need pronouncers here. Magatlahi, hope you don't mind. Ronnie Perez Matanonia is there. Christina Nicole, good morning. Bert Duarte. Bert has taken some just outstanding pictures recently. So if you'd like to see some beautiful pictures of beautiful women, right-click on Bert and take a look at some of the pics that he's put up there these days. Nice work. Ann MP and Marie Aruejo Kengat is online. Rai St. Nicholas and plenty more as the program continues and as we add more names to the list of folks that are now diehard fans of the Ray Gibson Show. And I got to say thank you very much. A guy come up to me the other night and he says, "Excuse me, are you Ray Gibson?" And I was like, well, but he didn't have that menacing, I want to tear you apart look in his eyes,
It was the
didn't have that
feed my ego kind of.
Yeah, he didn't have
Valentine Heart's eyes.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So I said, yes, why, yes, I am. He says,
I am.
I want you to know I listened to the program with you and your sister.
So they had to expand the door so that your head could fit
exactly
as you were
right.
exiting the building.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, that never gets old, Senator Montesilva Tyrant.
That gets old.
Does it?
Especially when you're trying to take shots at the bar and
Yeah. What do you want? Kamikaze senator? Shall we just line them up in front of you? Sure. 626
Yes, call me senator.
So here's what we got. Table of contents this morning. Again, we got a bad accident fatality on Marine Corps Drive. It will slow you down. Alternate routes are suggested for you, and about the only one through there up to that point is probably going to end up to be Route 16. That's the major artery that will get you through to the places that you need to go to escape that, to avoid that. Now, there are other roadways, and people that know the upper Tumon and that area know their way around Carlos Heights, etc. But you're just wasting time if you take some of those. Yes, you can get there from here, but it'll take you a long time. So the smart money is just stay on the main high roads and work your way through. Did we talk about this the other day? Somebody said we got to do a whacker drive. Like they have in Chicago, out specifically on that roadway, Chalon San Antonio, where you got the ITC building on one side, and on the other side you've got the Kipua Loop. The suggestion was that we think about, instead of trying to make the road wider, and I don't think we can. I don't think there's areas on Guam that we are as wide as we can get, and can't add any more lanes, can't add any more sidewalks and things like that. So the theory is, let's go up, think in another direction. So you've traffic that goes in this direction will go on the lower part of Guam's Whacker Drive, and then we'd have traffic on the other direction, which would be the elevated side, going in the opposite direction. Do you think it would? We managed to figure out the overpass, underpass, that kind of technology a few years ago. We've managed to master that, so maybe it's time that we master a new way of thinking.
It'd be interesting to see how they cut through the elevated roads to get to the utilities.
Yeah, well, I don't. Having never been on Whacker Drive, I couldn't tell you. I've been to Chicago, but I've never been, I think, on that stretch of roadway. So I couldn't tell you how that would work and how you get the traffic to go from the upper part to go to GPO, and take care of the shopping. Maybe there's just put some cutouts in there for some of the major areas so that you can go up and down them. I don't know. Somebody smarter than me will figure all of that stuff out. 6:28 in the morning. Other news features that we have to talk about today is really that you take a look at the front page of the Guam Daily Post. This is the snapshot of Guam at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. This right here this front page encapsulates how we live life here on Guam. In the real world, businesses are cutting hours as tourism drops. Now, there's a picture of my friend Dennis Rainier from Kaylee Smoke and Grill, and I had maybe one of the best hamburgers I've ever had in my life at Kaylee Smoke and Grill, and I've seen people eat their weight in steaks and chops and things like that. It's just a wonderful place. Great bartenders. They get hot hands, and apparently these guys are victims of the coronavirus. But I'm telling you, they're not the first. I told you this last week. That there are people in the hotel business right now that have already put out the memos. If you are a salaried person that works in this company, guess what? We're probably going to have you working 6 10-hour days this week because we're letting all of the hourly people, we're reducing their hours and their responsibilities. Anybody on call? You might need to start thinking about something else because I don't know if we're going to be able to call you. We cut the full-time guys down to just above the full-time limit so they can continue to get the benefits, and part-timers are just not getting called in. That's already happening in the hotel industry. I've talked to a couple of people that do that business, and they're telling me that they are feeling the squeeze. And if they aren't feeling the squeeze, the smart ones are doing it anyway because they know there's a squeeze coming. So expect to see more of that. Now this is the part where you go, yeah, I get it. That's Guam. That's the real life version of Guam. And then we have the government of Guam down at the bottom of the newspaper. Senators, staff racking up $60,000 in travel in a mere 9 months. So I honestly can't think of a whole lot of legislative travel that changed my life. Mon, is there any trips that any of these people went on that you came back and said, thank God they went? Oh my God, we're so much better for having them gone off to Washington, D.C. or lecturing the people again over at the United Nations. Anything?
None that I can think of.
Well, okay. Anyway,
recently.
So that's that. Like I said, folks, this is the synopsis. There it is, Guam on the front page of the newspaper. We've got the real world Guam, and then we've got the endless buffet and cocktail party that is the government of Guam. The bill never comes. The bill never comes. We can sit there. We can take all of the macaroons that we want and stuff them into our purses, and we'll eat all of the fancy stuff on the buffet, and we'll order cocktails, and we'll put our little fingers out there because we are the government of Guam, and we can do whatever. Doesn't matter how bad things get. They'll always be able to find ways to fund travel and fun parties and resolutions and all of that.
The interesting thing I find in that story is that of the senators that racked up the highest travel cost, it's Regine Bisco-Lee, who was really hard on Jay Rojas.
Happy birthday, Jay.
Happy birthday, Jay, when he was the administrator of GITA. And she was hard on him with the amount of travel that he was taking with regard to, a lot of the bonds that we were financing.
Oh, yeah, and it didn't help that he was also a million-mile guy from his previous business
and so
experience.
She was hard on him about the travel, and he actually came back with results and with deliverables. So, here it's interesting that she is, of the senators, the highest.
Says right there, Senator Regine Bisco-Lee had the highest travel cost of $16,767.
So it's good for the gooses.
Not always good for the gander. I hear what you're saying. 6:32 in the morning. All right, we got plenty more headlines and stuff to talk about. Again, I got to repeat this over and over, so I'm sorry about the broken record. There is an accident on a Marine Corps drive. There is a fatality. Please avoid the area coming from Santos Hill and the Carlos Heights area. And was it Tossie 17, you said?
Tossie 17. And if you go on to postguam.com, Nick and the photogs over there have some pretty good photos of the accident that's happening or that they're investigating right now, and it's pretty gruesome if you look at it. And apparently, according to his story, there were actually four occupants in the vehicle.
Oof. All right. So we've got that.
So
Route 16, alternate routes are suggested as we move into our first look at headlines now with news from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Montecillo Tyron.
Well, as I was mentioning, police are on the scene of the fatal crash on Marine Drive in Upper Tumon. The crash took place just before 3:30 a.m. Officers on the scene said a white sedan ran off the road and crashed into the wall of the Tossie 17 condominiums. It is believed that the driver may have been speeding when he lost control of that vehicle. Investigators are trying to determine if he was under the influence of alcohol. The Guam Fire Department's acting spokeswoman, Sharika Chargaloff, says that 4 occupants were in the vehicle, and 1 was transported to the Guam Regional Medical City with medics performing CPR en route. As the Guam Chamber of Commerce made a follow-up appeal for the Guam legislature and the governor to work toward delaying Guam's minimum wage increase, one restaurant is saying it's already been forced to cut back on business hours. The wage hike goes into effect on March 1st. The governor says she cannot hold back on the increase, but the legislature can, and the legislature is yet to respond to the plea of the Guam Chamber. Of $66,000 spent on travel at the legislature, Regine Bisco-Lee has accrued the most, $16,000. In fact, the travel at the legislature has one senator calling for increased requirements to further justify travel on the public's dime. Senator Jim Moylan introduced a resolution that would have travelers report how their travel has benefited the island. And those are some of your headlines from the Guam Daily Post. For more on these stories, log on to their website at postguam.com.
Yeah, the answer is, well, I was gone, wasn't I? I can't cause any damage when I'm away. 6:34 in the morning, that's iConnect time. Run to the nearest iConnect. They've got one at the Micronesia Mall, and check out all of the cool things. They've got the great telephone packages and internet plans and things like that, and great phones that go along with them. They've got the new iPhones. They got all the great iPhone accessories as well. What's the matter? Don't have an iPhone? Maybe you're not in that universe. They got gadgets and gizmos that will improve your digital life the second you walk out the door of the iConnect at the Micronesia Mall.
Hi, welcome to this ad for new Subway sliders, starting at $1.99 each. How do you want it?
Cheers, squad. Woo! Go Subway sliders, starting at $1.99 each. Woo! Give me a ham and jack slider.
Ham and jack slider.
Give me an Italian spice slider.
Italian spice slider.
What's that spell?
It doesn't really spell anything.
New Subway sliders, starting at $1.99 each. Go sliders!
Subway, make it what you want.
What, me turn? Got it. Go and enjoy a nice breakfast, if you can, over at a Wendy's restaurant near you. They're supposed to talk about the Big Bacon Classic, which is the big push now over at Wendy's, because it's back. Juicy beef patty, melting cheese, crispy bacon, lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, mayo, ketchup, and they put all that on the warmly toasted fresh bun. But because it's breakfast time, I tend to divert a little bit from the scripted spiel here and talk about what I think is a home run for the team over at Wendy's, and that is the bacon fried rice. They already put together a pretty good fried rice. Maybe one of the best. Let me put it this way. When I make fried rice, it tastes just like that. But I don't put bacon in mine. At Wendy's, they do. Just a thought. 6:36. Be right back.
At the mall, as you enjoy your shopping, dining, or entertainment, you could also win 3 great cars from Atkins Kroll and thousands of prizes in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game. Present your mall receipts and have a chance to win the renowned performance Chevrolet Camaro, the unapologetic rugged Toyota 4Runner, or the head-turning Lexus ES350 Luxury. Getaways to Manila, courtesy of Philippine Airlines, plus prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. The more you shop, the more chance to win in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game.
Let me see if I'm reading the gizmo correctly. I got southbound traffic beginning to slow down just as you pass the Australian Cable Company. And then there is a mandatory turn now down into Tumut from Santos Hill. And then that is also snagging up traffic from Santos Hill going over towards where the outrigger is in that area. So expect some serious delays as you're making your way through there. Avoid the area if you can. Looking at traffic up on Route 16, I can tell there's a lot of people listening to the sound of my voice because there's a lot of traffic turning from Route Marine Corps Drive onto Route 16 in front of the Micronesia Mall at this time. Alternate routes are suggested. If you have not yet hit that intersection, then you might want to make that turn over at Route 27 and go through the Harmon Loop area and get to Route 16 that way. It's going to be a little bit tricky for you for northbound drivers. Don't see too much happening on Marine Corps Drive from Gigo all the way into the downtown area, so don't expect too many delays there. A little bit of traffic on Route 8, excuse me, and traffic over at the Epicentro Gardens intersection, but wow, that's odd. It's moving in the wrong direction for there to be a problem. Looks like everybody's trying to make the turn into the supermarket there. A little bit of traffic on Route 4 as you make your way into the downtown Agutnia area. Just look out for some construction traffic through there. Everything else seems to be running smooth. Just be careful, would you? 6:38. That's right now traffic on the point.
Hafaday, Guam. We'd like to invite you to join us February 23 for the Guahan Festival of Hope with Franklin Graham at the Guam Football Association soccer field next to Dedido Sports Complex. Franklin Graham will be on Guam to share a life-changing message of God's love and hope for every one of us. This hope-filled event will also feature musical performances by Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Michael W. Smith. Tommy Coombs Band, and Dennis Agajanian. Don't miss this free, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Come join us for an afternoon of music and a life-changing message of God's love and hope on February 23 at the Guam Football Association soccer field, starting at 4:30 p.m. Gates open at 3:30 p.m. Admission is free. For additional information and updates, visit us and like our Facebook page at Guahan Festival of Hope. See you there. God bless you and God bless Guam.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
8:00 in the morning. It is the Ray Gibson Show. Thursday morning, did we say? Yeah, it's a gateway into Friday, which is the gateway into the weekend. And as you can hear with all of the plugs and stuff, it's going to be a rather busy weekend. Got that deal, the evangelists that are going to be evangelizing. What is it, on the 23? Then we've got, what is it, tomorrow night? No, Saturday night is the gala for the women's, the Guam Women's Club. I got they get together, the Mardi Gras, which is going to be crazy fun. I'm looking forward to that. And all kinds of other stuff that's taking place. But if you're looking to help out, I got this in the WhatsApp. Apparently, there is a need. The CSS, Catholic Social Services, right? All right, CSS sent a note. It said, we need spam. They're putting the call out, ladies and gentlemen, for spam. So they're Monday through Friday between 8 and 5. Go to the CSS main office if you've got some spam and drop it off. I guess that's one of the favorites of their clients and their customers over at the Catholic Social Services. And they don't have enough of it, don't have enough in stock. This is kind of unusual.
Any kind of spam, or how about flavored spam or low sodium spam?
Okay, so there's only ever been the two kinds of spam in the house. One of them is the regular spam, and then the other is the low sodium spam.
You don't have spam at your house.
No, I do. I have.
You have spam now.
I have at least 3 cans of spam in the house.
Good job, Ray
in the
Gibson.
event of some kind of nuclear holocaust or coronavirus, and I can't get to the pay
I
list.
say this because I've house sat for him and with the kids, and no spam to be found.
Yeah, no.
But now you have spam.
I think
That's
that was
good.
the previous administration. So in this administration of Ray Gibbs, I've got spam in the house. But like I said, it's either regular spam or low sodium spam. I've found that some of the flavored spam, the hot one is too hot.
Okay.
So I can't eat the hot one. And then they've got one, there's a tocino spam that I tried once that doesn't taste like tocino or spam. It's a whole other.
Different.
It's like turtle meat. You know,
They even
there's
have
just something in there
Portuguese
that.
sausage spam.
Yeah, so it's
Which
kind of a.
doesn't taste like Portuguese sausage.
Or spam is
Or
my
spam.
is my point. They come up it's a hint of something that is familiar, but you just can't quite put your finger on it. And the other reason for the spam is that I will occasionally have a spam sandwich. But the other reason is occasionally I get a craving for the Chamorro spam goulash. Because it requires heat. That's all. It is. You can say I cooked it, but you didn't really cook it. All you did was you took the ingredients out and heated them up. You put them in a pan all together, and then you heated them up.
That's what you call it?
That's
goulash?
Yeah.
My mom calls it 1, 2, 3.
Because it's easy as 1, 2, 3, right?
3.
You get there it is. You dice up the spam. And then we put that in the tomato sauce, and then we pour in the mixture of vegetables, corn and peas and carrots and that kind of. And then there you go. You serve that over rice, some soy sauce.
And
But
squeeze
again,
a lemon.
at no time were you actually cooking. You were just assembling parts there. But it's one of the easiest things to make. So every once in a while, I get a craving for that. And so that's.
We always have at least a dozen cans of spam in my house.
At any given time.
Because spam goes in everything from spaghetti to, rice.
You buy it on base, so it's cheaper for you. So
No, it's the same. It's about $2.25, right?
They don't drop the price of spam anywhere.
No. And you know what's still expensive is the can of corned beef. The can of corned beef is like $4 now.
Well, because it's literally a hot item. I mean, it's one of those things where you get these guys,
And if you buy
you
oxen
steal it.
palm, it's like $7.
Really?
They do steal it.
They steal the oxen palm. I'm getting to a point where, you want that. You have to show 2 pieces of ID before they let you in the room where they keep the oxen palm. And they show it to you. So we've got a can here from 1975. It's a good vintage.
It's a good year.
Beef. Would you like to purchase this? We'll start auctioning the stuff off. I hear $5 for a can.
Okay, at our fundraiser, we're going to have cans of spam and cans of oxen palm.
They're looking. Apparently, there is a need over at the Catholic Social Services for something like the spam. So go and get some of that.
Help Paula out.
Yeah, absolutely. 888-825-5888-TALK. That spam goulash sounds good for lunch today. According to Gene Uggan Martinez, haven't had that in months. Really? Well, why not, Gene Uggan Martinez? That is the go-to. If it's particularly rainy day and you want to cook, but you don't really want to spend any time in the kitchen, that's the one that you do. Our friend from MWR, Valerie Lynn Maige, is online.
And she wants to know if there's a fire along Cross Island Road. I have no idea.
Really?
I think she's heading into work, so.
If anybody's already on Cross Island Road and a fire, let me know about that. I don't know why there would be a fire.
I know there was one in Inarahan, but I don't.
Yeah,
I
but
doubt
that was
has
that was
anything to do
yesterday.
with it.
And it's to the point now. It's just so dry, and some of these fires are so far in. It's one of those things where the fire department just kind of sits around and watches it burn because there's not much that they can do to right that situation. So we'll somebody on the onlines will let us know, and then we'll be happy to let you know. Val, Dennis Ben-Sur says spam was cheaper off base last week. Huh? Wait a second. Wait. Say that again. Spam was cheaper off base last week. How is that possible?
I'm telling you, there are certain stores that the prices are actually competitive.
Cheaper than base.
So 7-Day Supermarket, you can actually find things in there that's way cheaper than even the commissary. And I don't know if the commissary does price match.
Yeah. Well,
Never tried.
There ought to be a segment of the program. We ought to have, and Dennis, you can do it if you want to.
Market basket.
I'm voluntolding you. So, the market basket, and we'll put together all of these different items and find out where the cheapest place to get it is. So, like with gasoline, the cheapest place to get gasoline, always going to be the auto port, right? So
it's
that's
$2.47 a gallon.
But for something like spam, when we know that spam is actually cheaper off base somewhere, tell the world where you're seeing that kind of thing. You just beep it in, 988-5874. That's 988-5874. If you are looking for an excuse on the program here to actually beep me something on the 988-5874, send us a picture of your spam. Send us a picture of your spam. Now, we will get pictures of regular spam and the spam light, and that's okay. But if you've got one of those exotic flavors of spam that, we're just going to try it out one time, and you haven't gotten around to trying it out, because I'm almost positive you've got a can of spam like that in the kitchen.
Jay
Take
Rojas,
a picture of it, 988-5874, 988-5874.
If he's listening, Jay Rojas actually is a collector of the various spam flavors.
I'm not surprised.
And he has an entire pyramid of spam.
Caller said there's a fire.
There's a fire.
There's a fire on Cross.
It appears to be a grass fire past the cemetery.
Is it stalling traffic?
Oh, okay.
It's not
Apparently
near.
so, because Val's stuck in there.
Yeah, I don't know about stuck, but and I'm trying to see if I can locate the cemetery here on the traffic gizmo right quick.
Is that Lady of Peace? Or?
Yeah. I see traffic. I don't know. It's not showing anything running slow. It's showing that there is traffic in the area, but it's not showing me any serious signs of traffic. Frankly, the place where you're going to see some traffic is at the Pothole Junction, coming off 17, and then getting onto Route 2, I think. Whatever road that is. Anyway, so if you see something, then send me a picture of that if there's enough sunshine on the fire now. 988-5874, 988-5874. Sun broke the plane just 5 minutes ago, so there ought to be plenty of light everywhere. Tony D'Angelo is online. Andre Bainham, Mingo Ree. Good morning to Jean Uggan Martinez, who is going to be making goulash tonight. Pat and Norma Jean Flores. Andre says, hear ye, hear ye. Pick up your brown tree snake recipes at your local mayor's office. Okay. That one caught me by surprise. I'm going through both of the newspapers like I always do. Got all the big stories here from the Guam Daily Post, and then you got the Pacific Daily News, and here's another couple of stories that just epitomize what we're dealing with here with the coronavirus and the possibilities that we're in for some lean times in Tumon. And you might be going, wow, I feel sorry for the lean guys in Tumon. That's going to spread like a cold in the family, because things get lean in Tumon, and then before you know it, things are going to get lean everywhere else, because guys that work in Tumon aren't going to be bringing home the same dough they were making last month. Korean Air, Jin Air, canceling their February flights. What's left of the flights coming out of South Korea in February. That's 57 flights total. That's 57 airplane rides worth of Koreans that aren't coming to Guam. I'd remark yesterday when I was picking up the little one over at the school, passing by Plaza de España. Normally 3:30 in the afternoon, Plaza de España is just filled with Korean. You can't park next to the church because they're parking the wrong way there, next to the Cathedral Basilica. So that they can go get the selfies and the big Guam sign and the kiosco next door over to Plaza de España. And maybe six tourists there. I mean, enough that I could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And nobody in the parking stalls. And I thought, well, this is not looking good. And sure enough, pick up the front page of the PDN, says Korean Air, Jin Air canceling February flights. 57 flights total are not going to be departing, filled with Korean hot pants. And that's going to have an impact, guys. And then, like I said, then we have from the It Takes Teamwork to Make the Dream Work administration over at the 35th Guam Legislature. They have unveiled the three-dimensional artwork by Lee Nicholas entitled Mariana's Trench, simulating a menagerie of marine life that could exist within a break in the walkway leading to the steps of the Guam Congress building. And this will be, when the Koreans start coming back, this will be the thing that they take their selfies of. Now, I don't have a problem with street art. I'll just tell you that right now, and hand over heart, I don't have a problem with street art. More of it, the merrier. I question whether that's the appropriate venue for it. It's a building that represents the third, one of the branches, one of the three branches of government that we've got out here. I think this would have actually been better had it been, I don't know, maybe someplace in Tumon over by one of the hotels, or what's the Sea Life Park? What's the name of the place? Underwater World.
Underwater World.
Yeah, I think that would have been more appropriate down there as opposed to leading up to the steps of our Congress building. So I don't know about that, and I'm in a chat with some people.
It might have been appropriate over at Chamorro Village also.
That's another good place to put something like that.
It's a beautiful piece of art, and I want to see it somewhere else.
So, yeah, there's a group, somebody's asking, wow, who authorized this? Somebody else, Tony, says, this is unbelievable. And Fernando, in one of the groups that I'm in, says, I'm amazed in the very worst way. The Congress building went from a solemn place full of our history of struggle and triumph, and now it's an ad for Underwater World. That's the way some people are looking at this kind of thing. I don't know. Is it just?
Well, there is a GVB emblem on the bottom of there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Why didn't they put it next to GVB? There's a nice sidewalk at GVB. So, and if you take a look at it, there's all these places where the sidewalk appears to jut out over the 3D image, and that's where
to hide the cracks in the
no, that's where people are going to stand. So they're going to take pictures, and they're going to make the little kids stand over there, and somebody else is going to stand over there. So it looks like they're peering out over this big, gigantic hole in the floor of the legislature.
If you read the art, I think it's in the post. It says it's supposed to be the Mariana's Trench.
Yeah, it's just another place
far from the Mariana's
where
Trench.
the legislature can throw our money. Here, we've got what looks like a hole out in the front, people. This is where your taxpayer dollars are going. And so again, the front page of both newspapers tell the story of two different Guams. The one where the real people live and work and pray that the Koreans keep coming in decent numbers and keep spending. And then we got the other one where, hey, look, we're the legislature. We can do whatever we want with whatever we want. So we're gonna commission some artwork for our front steps.
Isn't the Rules Committee in charge of the facilities?
I thought it was Ways and Means. I can't remember. I was thinking about
Rules, and that would be Regine.
Regine again, right? Yeah, I don't know who's again. Teamwork makes the dream work kind of Pinterest thing that we've got going on over at the legislature. But if you wonder why things aren't getting done, why there doesn't seem to be any dramatic motions and changes to the way we live our lives around here, it's because there's the two Guams. There's the Guam that you and I live in and work in, and the roads that we drive on, and then you've got the one where, like I said before, it's an endless buffet, it's an open bar, and the bill never ever comes. How great could that be? And that's why, friends, we're putting together the Republican Party. 6:53 in the morning, 888-255-88TALK. So who else is playing around? So that was Andre Bain. Oh, that was the thing that got me linked to the PDM. There's a story in. Hold on a second. I'll get to it. Mayors learn to remove snakes with brooms and tape. Now, that was a trick that our mother used to do. Our sainted and beloved mother, and the house that is still plagued with brown tree snakes. There's no idea why. And that's something that baby Shelley has to deal with on a regular basis, is the idea that she might go into the Kemon and open the door, and hanging from the shower curtain bar might be a brown tree snake. And they're usually little guys, but every once in a while, I'll get called in to dispatch a snake at the house that is as big around as my wrist, and it's the one where, yeah, you called the wrong guy. You get a snake that big in the house, call the fire department, call the police department, have them come in and shoot it. Tell them to bring the biggest gun they have in the arsenal, because we've got a big snake in the house in Barragata Heights. But Mom had some practical thoughts in her head, and I want to say that she invented this. But she would get a broomstick and some duct tape and wind the tape around the top of the broom in a way so that the sticky part was facing out, and then then you can, you fish around with the snake, and eventually the snake gets stuck around the sticky part, and then you take the stick and you throw it away. You take the broom, and you have to go to the store and buy a new one because we're never ever touching that broom again. But that's the way you throw the snake out there. And
it was actually Roland Kittigwa who
Roland does it for science.
Yeah, who taught us how to do that.
Over at
well, he was at the Agriculture or University of Guam's Division of Agriculture.
Yeah. Smart guy. Yeah. So Mom didn't invent the concept, but that's generally the way it works. And so they're teaching the mayors how to do all of this. And Jane, I love this because it has my friend Jane Dia in it. Now, we're hoping to get a hold of Jane or Chelsea at some point this morning to talk not specifically about this, but that pig story that we were talking about yesterday down in Tamuning, where there's apparently a feral pig running around the city of Tamuning. But this was the part that got my attention, and the mayors learned to remove snakes with brooms and tape story. The mayors and Jane Dia also shared recipes that make use of brown tree snakes as meat.
Ew.
I couldn't.
Is that considered meat?
I couldn't. You can eat snakes.
No, I'm just wondering because Lent's coming up.
Oh.
If it's poultry or steak or meat.
I
It's
don't
a reptile,
know.
so maybe it would be.
How we would categorize that? It's generally not a genus we eat from. Unless you really need to. Mayor and Dia also shared recipes that make use of brown tree snakes as meat, as in fried snakes, snake in coconut milk, snake adobo, and sweet and sour snake. Gatineau Mayor John Cruz said those who catch 3 or 4 snakes can also bring them to his office, and someone will cook them using ginger and coconut milk. Okay, so next time you're over at the mayor's office and the community center and somebody offers you some kind of soup with ginger and coconut milk in it, I'd question what kind of varmint is actually in there.
I think I trip a little in my mouth.
Is it safe? Is that safe to eat?
I don't know.
Oh.
I actually even think the Bible says something in there
about not eating snake.
reptiles
I
and
don't know. It's Gwen Tommy. Somebody online this morning has tried it and will give me a comment. John Ray's on. I got Pete Guerrero, Renee Lau, Kevin Canetta is online. Richard Leon. Did Bisco Lee and all the other sin actors fired DPR? Yikes, Banez. And GovGuam offers employees time reductions. Now, I haven't heard about Ibanez getting fired, but I haven't also gotten word of the Agano swimming pool that's supposed to be opening. I pass by there just about every day, and the water, I thought it was starting to change color. But I can't really tell, but it still has kind of a greenish hue to it.
You know, when you put the shock, it always kind of looks a little bit more
and
blue.
cloudy. So I don't know whether they've got the
and
pump
then they
system
have the
working.
blue color, the blue thing that you add to the pool that gives it more of a blue hue. Pam was asking yesterday online if we wanted her husband to call.
Clayton? Call anytime. Milou Milligan is online. James Joyce, good morning to Rick Leon. Val S.A. Untalon. Traffic has started in Dededo. All right, well, I'll take a look at the traffic gizmo. With that accident on Marine Corps Drive, and if you're just tuning in, just coming to this morning, word that we got is that there is an accident roughly around Carlos Heights and the Nissan area. Infusion can't open. I got that from the owner a minute ago. They're not going to be able to open. We'll beep you when they do are able to open so that you can get your coffee and your fraps and your teas and stuff like that. But otherwise, this morning, until the cops are done with that fatality investigation, it just isn't going to happen. And we anticipate that that's going to be driving traffic coming out of Dededo and Marine Corps Drive. Anything south of Marine Corps Drive and Route 3 is going to be just an incredible pain. So watch out for that. Looking at the traffic gizmo right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it is. I'm from the intersection of Marine Corps Drive and Route 3. That's where the traffic will start. And it will be slow, stop and go until you get to the intersection of Marine Corps Drive and Santos Hill. When you get there, they're diverting traffic down into Tumon. And if you've ever been in that line of traffic, just on Friday at 5, trying to get into Tumon from there. You know how ugly that can be. And it is ugly right now, and it doesn't clear up until you get past the T Galleria. So expect some serious delays. If you haven't already hit that, then like I said, make that turn over at on Route 27 Alpha and get into Route 16 from there, and just kind of make your way around the long way to your final destination. 7 o'clock in the morning, getting close to it. You know something else that's happening on the roadways that we need to report about, call us, and Real Joe will take your information. 988-5874 if you've got any pictures. If you have pictures of your spam, show me your... Here, I'll get in trouble for this. Show me your can. Take a picture of your can and send it in to 988-5874. Let me share your can with Guam. 7 a.m. KUSG again, you 93.3. This is The Point.
Can one debate change everything? I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Democrats running for president share a stage for the 9th time in the 2020 race, but tonight's face-off in Las Vegas is the first to include Mike Bloomberg. The former New York mayor has been outspending the rest of the field by far, but hasn't debated since 2009. One of his new ads uses past comments from Joe Biden.
Mike has what every public official should have: passion, match with principle.
Biden has been critical of Bloomberg ads featuring past comments from President Obama, who has not endorsed anyone. A new Washington Post ABC News poll gives Bernie Sanders the national lead in the Democratic race, 16 points ahead of Biden, with Bloomberg in third. President Trump, meantime, continues his West Coast swing. He's in 2 states today. Fox's John Decker is live at the White House.
President Trump tweeting, internal real polls show I am beating all of the Democratic candidates. The fake news polls show losing or tied. Their polls will be proven corrupt on November 3rd. The president today holding a major fundraiser in Rancho Mirage, California, hosted by Oracle founder and chairman Larry Ellison. Tonight, the president holding a campaign rally in Phoenix. In 2016, President Trump beat Hillary Clinton by 3.5 percentage points in Arizona and won the state's 11 electoral votes. Democrats believe they have a chance of winning Arizona for the first time since Bill Clinton carried the state in 1996. Lisa?
Thanks, John. Just getting word the jury is done for the day at the Harvey Weinstein rape trial in New York. It was day 2 of deliberations. They have asked several questions so far. He has denied the charges of rape and sexual assault. On Wall Street, a rally, the Dow up 116 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
Yikes, are those Christmas bills coming in? Wait, hold on, that was last month. Now it's this month. But by popular demand, we're extending our New Year's solution 4.65% personal loan through February. Money for whatever you want at 4.65% APR from Bank Pacific. We're still celebrating.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender as low as 4.65%. Conditions apply.
Off day. This is Congressman Michael Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael Nicholas.
A movie theater in suburban Omaha is under investigation over cocktails that contain something people aren't supposed to drink.
The Alamo Draft House in La Vista, Nebraska could lose its liquor license after 2 women and an employee were hospitalized last month after they were served cleaning solution that was in a bottle that previously contained liquor. Sarpy County Attorney Lee Polikoff.
We can't just write it off to stuff happens. Someone neglected what they were doing or how they did it.
Police say the bottle was placed near the bar and used to make drinks. A company spokesman calling the situation truly awful. One employee was fired and others were retrained. No word on possible charges. A hearing on the company's liquor license is set for next month. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The U.S. Defense Chief's top policy advisor, John Rood, is leaving the Pentagon ousted, apparently.
In May, Ruud sent a letter to lawmakers certifying that Ukraine had taken substantial actions to combat corruption. When the letter was leaked to the press in late September, it undercut President Trump's argument that his administration withheld military aid to Ukraine because of widespread corruption in the country.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon. It's been nearly a decade since the world lost a beloved voice. But a version of Whitney Houston will be going on tour.
A hologram of the songstress will embark on a European tour starting next week, with American audiences getting to see her image projected on stage with real dancers and a live backup band after April. Fans can expect to hear hologram Houston recreate hits like How Will I Know, Saving All My Love for You, and even some rare songs like her cover of Steve Winwood's Higher Love.
Fox's Anna Eliopoulos. Recapping Wall Street, the Dow snapping a three-day losing streak up 116. The NASDAQ and the S&P hitting new record highs. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated team in Guam and on the U.S. mainland are here to support you. So call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
7 o'clock news is brought to you by Horizon Properties.
Off a day at 7:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news from the Guam Daily Post. Police are on the scene of a fatal crash on Marine Corps Drive in Upper Tumon. The crash took place just before 3:30 this morning. Officers on the scene said a white sedan ran off the road and crashed into a wall at Tossie 17 condominiums. It is believed the driver may have been speeding when he lost control of the vehicle. Investigators are trying to determine if he was also under the influence of alcohol. Guam Fire Department spokeswoman Sharika Chargalov said 4 occupants were in the vehicle and one was transported to the hospital, and medics were performing CPR en route. Santos Hill will be closed to traffic, and all southbound traffic from that intersection by Tossie 17 across Nissan will be closed, so motorists are urged to take an alternate route. As the Guam Chamber of Commerce made a follow-up appeal for the Guam legislature and governor to work toward delaying Guam's minimum wage increase, one local restaurant is saying it's already been forced to cut back on its hours. Kaylee Smoke and Grill, located in Tumon, has seen a dramatic drop in tourist customers. General Manager Dennis Rainier of Kaylee Smoke and Grill says that there's usually a good lunch crowd, but now it's just empty. He says their new hours are from 5 to 10 daily starting Monday. There will no longer be a lunchtime service. The Guam Visitors Bureau, meanwhile, stated that 15,000 tourists have already canceled their travel plans to Guam, and it's resulted in about $9 million in travel-related revenue. The Guam Chamber of Commerce has since asked for a 6-month delay in the minimum wage increase, which takes effect on March 1st. They say this will further help businesses, especially those in the tourism industry, deal with a blow to their revenues. The governor says that she cannot hold back the increase, and it will be up to the legislature. The legislature, however, has not responded to that plea. Federal Public Defender John Gorman says that the District Court of Guam's chief judge does, in fact, have jurisdiction to hear the complaints from multiple prisoners who allege inhumane conditions at the Department of Corrections Hagutnya facility. This is not a civil lawsuit, he states in a supplemental brief that was filed on Tuesday. He says it's also undisputed that the defendants are in custody of the U.S. Marshal Service, and the U.S. Marshal Service is responsible for their safe, humane care and custody of those placed in its care. On February 11th, 9 federal detainees and inmates appeared in the District Court of Guam to talk about the inhumane and unconstitutional conditions at the prison, and they say their 8th Amendment right was violated. So far, more than 45 local detainees and inmates at the Department of Corrections Hagutnya facility have been transferred to the Mangilao compound. The move was made to alleviate overcrowding and to allow prison staff to clean up the prison cells and repair plumbing and lighting in the prison facility. Another hearing is set for February 24th. More news after this.
Rent, lease. What does Horizon do for you? Here's a clue. Advertising, marketing, screening, inspecting, instructing, leasing and signing, collecting and complying, inquiring and assessing, coordinating, repairing, renewing, enforcing, evicting, moving, cleaning, rekeying, communicating. Do it yourself and you'll find it taxing. We work hard to keep the vacancies low, so at the end of the month, you collect the dough. Proven and trusted. Horizon Properties. We do it all. 777-7792.
In 9 months from February to October of last year, more than $66,000 was spent on travel by senators and staff of the legislature. And this has one Republican senator looking at ensuring that future travel is justified. Senator Jim Moylan filed a resolution to require senators and their staff to file a travel justification report. Of the total $66,000 that was noted in the travel summary, Senator Regine Biscoe-Lee spent the most on travel, and that amounted to $16,767. And while all who travel submitted required documents, Moylan's resolution would require additional information that shows how the island benefited from the travel on the public dime. A group of Guamanians have organized to push for Senator Bernie Sanders as the Democratic Party's nominee for president in the 2020 general election. While Guam residents cannot vote for president in general elections, they can help choose the eventual party nominees by voting in Guam's caucuses if they're locally registered and legally permitted to vote. The Guam for Bernie Sanders group gathered on Monday night at the Harmon McDonald's ahead of the May 2nd caucus. Sanders' most popular plans include implementing Medicare for all residents of all states and territories, addressing global climate change, and making public colleges and universities tuition-free, and raising the minimum wage. So far, volunteers have identified 12 individuals who will represent Guam's diverse population who are interested to run as pledged delegates to represent Guam in the Democratic National Convention in Milwaukee in July. And those are some of your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Here now is Ray with your weather.
No weather. Yeah. There's going to be some today. Breezy, partly cloudy with some minor showers here and there. Northeast winds 20 to 25 miles an hour. Daytime high is 87 degrees. It might be cool to the touch, but I tell you what, we haven't had a whole lot of rain out there, and things are starting to go crispy in the highlands of the island, so be very, very careful when you're out and about, and cigarettes and that kind of thing. Partly cloudy tonight with isolated light showers. East winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, and overnight lows of about 74 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6:27. Sunrise tomorrow morning should be about 6:42, 6:43. Now, I do have, somebody did send me a picture of what it looks like right now on, was that Cross Island Road? Is that where the accident, the fire was? So there it is. Yeah, I've got the thing all centered on the screen. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, just a little bit of smoke out there. Doesn't look like there's even enough of it for them to be slowing down traffic. But if you're one of those people that's real squeamish about it, yeah, go ahead and take your time as you make your way through there. We are talking about an accident, major accident, Marine Corps Drive, and traffic is being diverted from southbound traffic on Marine Corps Drive onto Santos Hill in Tumon. That will take you down Hotel Row. And as you might imagine, it's even on good days, you can get slowed down pretty heavy around there. But we're seeing that traffic starting to build up. Now, coming out of Route 3 onto Marine Corps Drive, you're going to be meeting with sluggish traffic. It will be slow to crawling from there southbound all the way to Santos Hill, and like I said, from there they'll port you down. Now, it does look like things are moving a little bit better. My guess is they probably got somebody directing traffic down at the bottom of that hill. I'm not saying there is. I'm just saying it's moving better right now. So somebody might be saying, ignore the lights, just keep going, because if you stop for that light there and the one that they've got over by DFS, it'll take forever to clear that thing up. So it looks like they might have opened the throttle on that one just a little bit. Otherwise, traffic in most of the usual spots are, as you might imagine, with everybody stuck there, it's mostly intersection traffic everywhere else. 8, 10, and 16 is running very, very clear right now. 10 and 15 looking good. 4 and 10 is looking good. In fact, the only place where I'm seeing any other slow traffic right now is in front of Guam High. So there you go. 7:13. That's news, weather, and traffic together here on The Point.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
I like the way they put that. It's the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. And thrilled to bring you news and information and talking about food as much as we possibly can. So where do we get to start here? I'm going to swing by the nearest Wendy's and try that burger. Actually, I've had about one a week for the last 20 years of my life since we put Wendy's here on Guam. The Big Bacon Classic. It is among my favorites. Over at Wendy's, we get the melty the cheese on top of the beef patty, and then it's a well constructed, well thought out, well developed bacon cheeseburger. When are they coming back with the mushroom melt? You remember that one, the mushroom?
Yes.
I can taste it. It's gooey, right?
You hurt me every morning. I got to bring food in, man. Every morning you hurt me.
Anyway, so it's not there yet, but they've got the Big Bacon Classic, which means in my mind that maybe they're going to come back with the mushroom melt thing a little bit later on. A crispy bacon in there, lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles, mayo, ketchup, and plenty more. Find that over at Wendy's. Ray Gibson Show also being brought to you by American President Line's global presence with a local home, Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your specialty care needs. We'll save the next one for later on. We got to get started with the rest of the program here in the Ray Gibson Show.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
After 7 o'clock in the morning, 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number on here at the radio station. 988-5874 is where you can find, is where you need to send your WhatsApps to, 988-5874. Like I said, I got a picture of what it looks like in Cross Island Road just a few minutes ago. Not terrible, a little bit of smoke off in the distance, and that might be enough for some people to slow down and go, wait, I can't see. Oh, wait, I can't see. So watch out as you're making your way through there. There are a couple of other things. Tom, my buddy Tom, who's a cop, my cop friend Tom says
He's my buddy. He was my buddy.
Snake meat is good. Snake meat is good. Now that's a conversation that we picked up in the last hour with.
Maybe it is good, and I would try it. Just don't tell me that I'm eating.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
tell
So
me.
yeah. No, I get that. I get
don't
that.
ever tell me, even when I'm done.
I'm the same way with escargot.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I
could eat that.
I can eat. Well,
tough to hide escargot.
Yeah, but I mean, there's when they put it on the little canapes, with little finger food every once in a while. I remember exactly where I was when I had that moment. I was at the Hilton in what used to be the 10-4 disco. There was a thing going on. There was a get together for a business or something. It wasn't club time, but there was an open bar over here, and there were lovely little girls that worked at the Hilton walking around with trays of just these delightful pieces of finger food, and I stuck it in my mouth. Oh my God, this is great! I had 2 or 3 or 4 more, and I said, "This is what is this?" She says, "Oh, it's escargot." Oh,
butter and garlic sauce.
Yeah, on a little like on a cracker or something, and it was really good. And I stopped eating it, and because I couldn't get past the mental block that I was eating a snail. Just couldn't do it.
You can even get snail in a can.
Yeah, I know.
It's so good. But I don't know about
not my thing. Not my thing. So there's a story in the PDN this morning about my friend Jane Dia from the Department of Agriculture teaching mayors about how to safely catch a snake and then humanely dispatch the snake, which is another important lesson that I've tried to teach the children. Don't play with it. Don't torture it. And while you're waiting to kill it, just with one hand hold it down, with the other hand you kill it with a machete.
It sounds like something you would eat and catch coronavirus. It's just one of those.
Cross species meal. It's not supposed to be something like that, but apparently they also shared recipes for snake meat with the mayors. The mayor in Agana says, "Oh, it's okay. I don't need that. I've already got a guy. You bring 3 or 4 snakes over to my office. We'll go ahead and skin those snakes, and then we're going to fricassee them or fry them up. We'll stick them in the kelligwinit or something like that." So I don't know about any of that stuff.
Yeah, in Leviticus 11:42 it says this includes. Do not eat any creature that slithers along on its belly.
It walks, talks,
Yeah,
crawls
it
on its
also
belly
goes
like
on
a
to say
reptile.
about walking on 4 legs, but that's where I stop. And
So, because the Bible says, there it is, and there you're against God if you're eating snake meat.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says so. All right, so I don't know why, but we went from that conversation somewhere around there where we were talking about the spam goulash and easy cooking that you can do. And so if you're looking for an excuse to send me something on the WhatsApp, on the radio station WhatsApp, again, 988-5874, add us to your contacts list because one of these days you'll actually have something important to send me. And I want to already be in your contact list, 988-5874. And so by way of giving you a handy excuse to send me something, to put me into your contacts, I've asked for you to show me your can of spam. Show me your can. Send me a picture of your can. Maybe it's a
I bet you there's no spam in Jerry's house.
no.
There's no vegan spam at your house, is there?
Vegan spam.
No. What? No spam?
No.
That would be like a fam.
Gus Jasangus says,
Bam.
everybody, look, I got a picture of Gus's can. There it is. That's it's 25% less spam.
Nice to Gus.
I don't think that's actually his spam. It looks like he went on the internet.
That
Google,
looks like an Amazon.
Yeah, Google thing. Can you buy spam on Amazon?
You can buy everything on Amazon.
7:20 in the morning. All right, we'll get around to some of the other pictures that I've gotten on the deal. Like I said, folks, send me your can. Any color, any size.
This is radio.
Yeah.
You could actually just put it out there and somebody will bring you snake meat. Come on.
Oh, good Lord.
You know how to do this.
I'm afraid. No, because then I'm going to feel obligated to eat
Once
it.
or twice a week, somebody leaves a big bag of pugwa.
Yes.
On the door.
Yes.
Okay, and I've actually seen that person.
Totally different.
So I know who it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, somebody, right now, Ray needs to sample snake meat.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
Somebody,
no.
Somebody within the sound of our voice, get a snake, chop it up, make the snake, and bring it in.
Bolt the door. Bolt the door to the
Someone
radio
needs to do
station.
this.
Reset the alarm.
Yeah, reset the alarm, bolt the door. If we got a couple of spare cops, we can pull off the accident scene, bring them down here because I don't want to have anything to do with eating snake.
You're an adventurist.
But I draw the line at eating the stuff. I will, however, there's a place right up the street. It's Jimmy's Izakaya. Do you know the restaurant? Right across from St. John's. It is one of the best kept secrets on Guam. Been there for 20 years, and it is a go-to place for folks that like izakaya style dining and entertaining. Okay. Very, very Japanese, and with a touch with a solid influence of Okinawan izakaya. And in Okinawa, they have a special kind of sake that they make there called habu sake. Habu is the name of Okinawa's version of the brown tree snake.
Really?
Yes, really. And so they will gather around as many of these habu snakes as possible, throw them in a fermenter of rice wine. And when they bottle the stuff, they include the snake. So every bottle of habu sake comes with a snake inside of it. So you know that you're getting the real deal. This is real habu sake.
So you'll drink snake, but you won't eat it.
I've enjoyed the times that I've drank the habu sake. Tastes just like regular habu sake, but you've got to get over that mental thing that there's a snake in the bottle that you're pouring from. How did that get there? What happened? Whose idea was this? Was it somebody that was making? And it's like eating fruit bat, right? Who invented eating fruit bat in soup? Was that because in my mind it was an accident? Somebody was making just a regular thing of soup and left the door open and a bat flew in. Just kind of accidentally ambled in, and nobody wanted to say anything. So no, it's custom. That's the way we eat it around here. And I'm thinking it's the same thing. Somebody was making sake back in the day in Okinawa, and a snake crawled into it and drowned, and they'd already drank half of it before they realized there's a snake in there. Hey, I'll bet we could sell this to the tourists.
Anybody who wants to be in the next Guam legislature really ought to be able to eat snake meat.
7:22 in the morning.
Then they would be cannibals.
I would prefer cannibals. That's lawyers. So let me just take a look. We'll do the market thing, and then we'll talk about snake as a means of diversifying our economy, because the military and the tourism thing is just.
Remember there was a guy that wanted to take all of the snake skin and make purses and wallets.
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I mean, that's done all the time.
Was it Senator Espaldon? Not the young one.
The old one?
The old one.
The old one.
Doctor. Was it him?
I don't know.
No, this is for real. They actually started a snake drying thing, and they were going to do purses and wallets and stuff. I kind of remember that it was him, but I could be wrong.
Deep in the records of the Guam Economic Development Authority, there's perhaps somebody some record of that. But I don't see why it could not be done. And they say we've got a population of them in the millions. It ain't difficult, I don't think.
400,000 per acre.
7:23 in the morning. All right, so before we get to Jerry Roberts and the extra point, quick look at what's happening on the markets. I'll need the Bitcoin, Joe. So the S&P 500 green by 15 points. That's nice, 3,386. NASDAQ green by 84 points, 9,817. Dow Jones Industrial Average managed to drift up today, 115 points in the green, 29,348. The rest of the Asian markets are looking pretty good. FTSE is up. Nikkei is up 206 points. That's nice, 23,400. So good on the Japanese. My understanding is that things are strengthening up a little bit out there against the dollar. Hang Seng Index at 27,655. That market is up by 125 points. And the DAX clears 107 points to close at 13,789. Good news, bad news on the commodity side. I got $52.07. That was where West Texas was trading yesterday. Here's the bad news. It's up $1.39 more. Ooh, that's a big jump up for West Texas. $53.46 for a barrel of that. Now, the good news side is we're watching a little bit of creep back on the Tapas side. Tapas was trading at $62.83 yesterday. Today it is trading at $62.26. So it's off by almost 60 cents in the value on Tapas. So that's good news. What'd you find out on the Bitcoin, bro?
It's down $120 from yesterday, and now it's at $10,125.
But still over 10,000.
It's
so
still over.
That's going to keep the guys. That's going to keep the guys all happy. Gus Castro Jasanga says, I remember that in 1990 or 1995, snake skin products were part of a conversation. Debbie Canetta says some guy makes jewelry of snake skin. Can't remember who. Oh, there's a Pinterest article somewhere on this, but I don't know where it is. Nick Perlowski talking about oysters. Who had the idea to eat something that resembles snot? Yeah, there's a couple of things I'd like to say about watching women eat oysters, but I'm not going to. Ramona Nakamura is online this morning. I see Dave Chargaloff and who else? Debbie Canetta. Can't even drink sake with snake in it. Yow, can't stand to look at the Wiggles either. Yeah, I know what you mean. Who's barfing on the program? Dave Chargaloff says the Bible is the biz. Simon Sanchez online. Simon will remember who it was that wanted to do the snake skin products.
Simon has eaten snake in public.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
He has done.
Is it a radio station promotion, by the way?
Might have been.
Could be.
I think he just liked to do it a lot.
Samoan blood?
Could be.
Could be. It's 7:26 in the morning. Jerry's in that kind of mood. Better take advantage of it now. It's time for Jerry Roberts' Extra Point, brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and the team at First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
Ours is a goal-setting, goal-seeking, goal-stretching, and goal-satisfying culture. We look to goals to help drive our progress and achievements. Today, we talk about our approach to goals. Could we actually be hurting ourselves? That's up next on the Extra Point.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
An easily overlooked part of covering our home is what's inside of it. Over time, we buy things we don't want to lose, but don't update our contents coverage. The smart thing to do is get the answers and level up our insurance to make sure we're totally protected.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
With a new decade, there are new opportunities. And with new opportunities, there is always a chance to say yes. Yes to that car. Yes to that business venture. Yes to that new house. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes. Member FDIC.
A few days ago, an anonymous runner, talk show host, and closet snake eater sent me a story about another runner who set lofty goals, failed to achieve them, yet learned a valuable lesson. Maybe we can learn something from this lesson, too. The runner, a young woman named Jess Movold. She had broken 3 hours and 15 minutes for the marathon, a 26.2-mile gut check of a race. She then decided she could come in better than 3 minutes and set that as her goal for the next marathon. Movold planned and trained extensively to shave 15 minutes off her personal best time. Each workout had targets for pace and for time, and she said she envisioned one thing only as she ran: 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. She saw it. She could taste it. 2:59:59. On race day, however, when Movil crossed the finish line, she hadn't even gotten close to her personal best. Yet, she was okay with that. She was happy. Now, she also decided a mindset change was in order. She focused away from bettering her personal bests, and instead, now she looks for personal victories. First, Movil spent time thinking what she wanted her personal victories to be. That took time to be clear on her objectives. Then, she added flexibility. Now, this didn't mean that she would accept failure and lowered expectations, but that progress could come in different forms, and all could be valuable. Movil wanted time to reflect on her running, to try to understand the subtle yet important factors that brought her progress. She also wanted joy. She loves running, and it wasn't always a joyful experience. She said when things became complicated, frustrating, and overwhelming, she knew the joy was gone. As I read Jess Movil's article in her search for not only faster times, but overall greater enjoyment in running, I began thinking about how I approach goals. Most of the time, it's about hitting a target number, overall sales, number of employers I work with, number of coaching clients, reading speed, number of pounds lost. You get the idea. Set the bar high and go after it. We're halfway through 2020's first quarter, and there are numbers I'll be looking to reach by the end of this 3-month period. In quarter 2, however, I'm going to look for different ways to express goals. I still hope to hit numbers, but I'd also like to enjoy the pursuit more. Finally, I'd like to work on fundamental skills in addition to one highly specialized skill. I want to strengthen a strength. Every once in a while, it's a valuable exercise to look at goals, skill levels, desires, and tear the whole picture apart. Is it everything you want it to be? Is it successful, and is it making you happy? If the answer is no to those questions, then put it back together differently and go again. That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today for 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
You can get a copy, a transcript of that at guamtraining.com and the World Wide Web. And if you're nice to me, I'll be happy to send you a copy of the article that inspired me. And I took a look at that because, you got fast years and slow years as a runner. I would have loved to have run the marathon again this year, but I'm just not in the right mind frame, physically and mentally in the space to train to break my PR from last year.
Right.
And then in order to get there, I'll have to do things that suck, and it will suck the joy out of it. So I think this is going to be a slower year for me, but I will return to the things that I love about running, and that's being out in the sunshine and every once in a while enjoying the company of good running friends. There's nothing better than a good conversation with somebody that's running on your shoulder, and that will put the enjoyment back into the field for you. It's always nice to get a PR. It's always nice to hit that goal, but it's nicer to have some friends to enjoy the ride with. So just get out there and put on your favorite running shoes and go for a jog. 7:31 in the morning. That is the extra point with Jerry Roberts. You want more like that? Live to Lead conference is going to be coming up. We got running announcements about that on the radio, and if you'd like to sign up, you can do that at guamtraining.com as well. Time for headlines. Another look at news here for you, being brought to you by Auntie Lolita Kemet at Diamond Remax Realty. Or is it Remax Diamond Realty? There's so many different ways to say it. Let me give you her number, and she can tell you where she works. 688-6743 for Lolita Kemet and all of your real estate concerns. 688-6743. Now, with news from the Guam Daily Post, here's Montecillo Tyron.
There will be some big traffic delays along Marine Drive and side roads as police continue to investigate a fatal car crash this morning. They have traffic along Santos Hill closed and southbound traffic closed on Marine Corps Drive from the intersection by Tossie 17 across Nissan Upper Tumon. The crash took place just before 3:30. Officers on the scene said a white sedan ran off the road and crashed into a wall at Tossie 17 condominiums. It is believed the driver may have been speeding when he lost control. Investigators will try to determine if he was under the influence. GFD does say 4 occupants were in that vehicle and one was transported to GRMC with medics performing CPR en route. A federal public defender says District Court of Guam Chief Judge Francis Tidinko does have jurisdiction to hear a complaint from multiple prisoners who allege inhumane conditions at the DOC Hagåtña detention facility. 9 federal detainees and inmates appeared in the district court to talk about the inhumane and unconstitutional conditions. Another hearing is set for February 24th, where it will be argued who has jurisdiction. And donations are being accepted for a family who lost their home in a fire this week in Dededo. The fire resulted in 2 teens being injured. The teens, aged 13 and 16, they managed to escape from the burning home. Dave Pareto of the disaster program at the Red Cross says that they provided the family with some food and clothing, but the Dededo mayor, Melissa Savara, says that donations such as household items, blankets, toys for the children, or monetary donations can be dropped off at the Dededo mayor's office. And those are some of your headlines from the Guam Daily Post. For more on these stories, pick up a copy of the paper or log on to their website at postguam.com.
All right, so let me get into a little bit of traffic before we get into the full-blown traffic. I just think it's kind of interesting looking at the traffic gizmo with people that are coming in from Tumon Lane, that with the roadway over by Pika's Cafe and some of those other little peekaboo streets that you don't even think about. A lot of people that are trying to get and avoid the Nissan area, and they're going, maybe I can get in through on the Marine Corps Drive through here if I go the long way around from the backside. Yeah, you can, but it probably isn't going to be worth it, and you're still going to have to meet up with additional traffic at the lanes that take you out. So expect some delays through there. Still looking at ugly traffic, and in this case, it practically starts at Ipalpao and will go slow all the way into town. I'll give you details in a second. It's 7:34, and that's iConnect time. If you can, make it to the iConnect over at the Micronesia Mall. You may have to walk, but make it to the Micronesia Mall and go check out the iConnect location they've got in there. Apple, part of your life? Is that part of your digital life? Apple Watches and Apple phones and Apple computers. They got a whole mess of Apple goodies and gizmos that you can try out. Not quite an Apple guy? Hey, we speak Samsung as well at iConnect at the Micronesia Mall.
Lolita Cabot from RE/MAX Diamond Realty, a friendly, hardworking, and passionate RE/MAX professional, is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and to helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, and military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Cabot from RE/MAX Diamond Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
Ooh, yeah, I got artwork of the accident. Somebody sending me pictures of the accident and the traffic scene that surrounds it. I'll get that up on the Facebook Live here in just a second. Stand by one. Let me see if I can pull this up. Send that over to there. Okay, groovy. 888-825-5888-TALK is the telephone number of the radio station, and you can WhatsApp me at 988-5874. That's 988-5874. 7:36 in the morning. Swing by the nearest. Where are we going today? Mescla. Yeah, it's a good eats over at the Mescla place, and including the Southern Fried Chicken. Now, it's not any ordinary Southern Fried Chicken. The way these guys put it together, it's more Louisiana-inspired Southern Fried Chicken. So expect some of the flavors that you could associate with a Mardi Gras and hanging out by the bayou. Red beans and rice available for it as well in Hagåtña and Tumon at the Grand Plaza Hotel, where Valerie works. For reservations, 969-2652.
Hafaday Guam, we'd like to invite you to join us February 23 for the Guahan Festival of Hope with Franklin Graham at the Guam Football Association soccer field next to Dededo Sports Complex. Franklin Graham will be on Guam to share a life-changing message of God's love and hope for every one of us. This hope-filled event will also feature musical performances by Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Michael W. Smith. Tommy Coombs Band, and Dennis Agajanian. Don't miss this free once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Come join us for an afternoon of music and a life-changing message of God's love and hope on February 23 at the Guam Football Association soccer field, starting at 4:30 p.m. Gates open at 3:30 p.m. Admission is free. For additional information and updates, visit us and like our Facebook page at Guahan Festival of Hope. See you there. God bless you and God bless Guam.
Well, unfortunately, might not be able to get the images up on the screen for you. I'm getting so many pictures of people's cans. It's actually crashed the WhatsApp program here for the radio station. I'll work on it, but I do have an image here. If you're watching on Facebook Live, I can just show you my phone, and what you're seeing here is the image of the car that is left behind. Now, there's the building Tassi 17, about across from where Nissan Auto City is, and the automobile looks like they had to do Jaws of Life and all kinds of stuff in order to extricate the passengers that were inside that vehicle. We know of one fatality associated with it, and the police have got the area cordoned off and are rerouting traffic out of that area down into Tumon, where earlier it looked like things were getting real stiff, but I think there's somebody, maybe one of the yellow jackets, that is waving people through and trying to keep traffic going. So Tumon Road is not as bad as it normally would be associated with an accident like this. There's a lot of traffic, though, coming in from Dededo that is meeting up with Waisangsong traffic. That's already heavy. Hitting the roadways. It's going to be stop and go until you get to the intersection of 1 and 3, and then it's going to get ugly. Everything is virtually stalled between there and the turn that takes you down into Tumon. Got another picture I can show you of that if you're watching on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. That is an image there of what traffic looks like southbound. It is just dark enough when they took that picture. All of the brake lights are illuminating the area, and so expect some serious delays. Don't know when they're going to get that cleared up. I first started getting beat by Paul Tapau about 4 o'clock this morning. It is now 7:39, so we're 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 40 minutes from the crash and into the investigation. Could be going a little bit longer. So if you need to make it to work by 8 o'clock, you ain't going to make it by 8 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, yeah, hit the road about now and take alternate routes to get you past that intersection. Everybody else seems to be looking all right. I'm not getting any other word from traffic viewers, etc. People driving around in other parts of the island reporting any accidents or flames dancing from one side of the street to the other. But if you do, 888-8255.
Chili's 2 for $25 is back. Start with an appetizer to share. Then choose 2 entrees like our mouth-watering old-timer with cheeseburger or the Cajun chicken pasta, grilled chicken with penne and Alfredo sauce, and chili spices. Feeling extra? Upgrade to a personal fajita or our famous half-rack ribs. Bring a friend or a date to Chili's and get 2 entrees for $25. Located on the 2nd floor of Tumon Sands Plaza. Chili's. More life happens here.
Hafaday, this is Congressman Michael Nicholas. Our veterans deserve the best, and I'm working hard to make sure they receive what they earned defending our freedom. If you need help receiving the benefits you earned from the VA or the Defense Department, please call my office at 475-6453 or go online at stnicholas.house.gov. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Michael Nicholas.
Docomo Pacific wants to keep your business connected. When you sign up for a smart business bundle, you're gaining more than just mobile, internet, and phone services. Receive unbeatable value for your money and the convenience of having it all on one bill. All your business services on the widest and fastest network in Guam and the Marianas. Call 688-2677 for more information on partnering your business. Docomo Pacific Business, delivering your future today.
Kind of morning, 7:41, stuck in traffic. Yeah, that's what life is going to be like for at least a little bit longer until the police have concluded with their investigation of what's happening on Marine Corps Drive. That's Upper Tumon. Accident over by Nissan. Showed you the picture of the vehicle on resting on the southbound lane, and that means that they're going to be directing traffic away from that into Hotel Row, where they are having difficulties with this coronavirus. Dennis Rainier from over at Kaylee Smoke and Grill. Going to have to make adjustments on his employees' hours. Maybe he's going to be waiting on tables himself. We'll see a lot of that with the small businesses.
Oh yeah,
and even
he's even had some. I guess his wait staff having to do bartending.
double up on the jobs, which is so in my mind, don't ask for anything fancy. you want to drink there, make it something that they can just open a can and pour, open a bottle and pour, because otherwise you might be surprised at the flavor of what you ordered. Really, is that scotch? That tastes like vodka. 7:42 in the morning, but we're already seeing things like that sparkling through over at in the hotel industry. People that I talk to that are in the know are already making adjustments to part-timers, not calling those guys in. Full-timers, congratulations, we still got a job for you, but I don't know that I can keep you on for 40 full hours this week. It's things are getting tight with as many tourists that are not coming in. They've pegged the loss now at about $9 million worth of revenue that Tumon is not going to see. Those are numbers that we already know about. What worse is it going to be if this coronavirus deal lasts for a lot longer? A story from Nestor Lecanto at KUAM yesterday, where they asked University of Guam economics professor Roseanne Jones, said we can recover from a limited downturn, but an extended downturn could be a problem. She said, right now I think it's too soon to tell. Early read is that people have a wait and see, and they're not necessarily canceling these longer term plans, but they're keeping an eye on it. So from an economic point of view, we're keeping an eye on it with them. We've known for some time that we need a third leg of our economy, and it's this case, these times, that show us why we need this. Military and tourism are great, but we need something else. Some have talked about healthcare, some have looked at agriculture, but nothing seems to be as prosperous as our tourism market, and I think that's where the competition is, and if we had a better third, we'd have it by now. So we don't have an answer to that. And it's an interesting point. She's right. I can go back to chicken flus and SARS and attacks by different countries, being at war after 9/11. And you remember the downstop that they put on that. That was an eye-opener for a lot of people that said, we really need to have a plan B. When was 9/11? 20 years ago, guys. And we don't have, I'm sorry, not a plan B, a plan C. And so those are the realities that people are dealing with on the streets and in the businesses of Guam. And in the government of Guam, the endless buffet and cocktail party with the open bar continues. We get to travel all the time. $60,000 in the first year of the 35th Guam legislature. That's $60,000 that we could use to maybe, I don't know, conduct some kind of plan to come up with that third industry. Got Senator Jim Moyler on the line. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Ray.
How you doing there, buddy?
I'm enjoying my senior coffee over here at McDonald's in Agana and just talking with my friends.
Oh, yeah. What's the topic of conversation with the Manumco this morning? They have a daily meeting over in that place over coffee.
They sure do. And it was about the travel and about our excessive expenses with the Guam legislature.
Well, it doesn't seem to. There's no bills coming in, so and all the bills seem to be getting paid. So I don't know what the problem is there.
You know, really, I do not have a problem with travel if it's justifiable. Mm-hmm. But what the public wants to see is the transparency and providing the reports and put it on the website so they can understand the justification for this trip, especially during our situation with a loss of tourism and how this will affect our economy and where our budget is going to get hit quite hard. So if you're going to take the trip, that's fine. But if you do, then justify it and just write the reports out so people understand why.
What was the point of the trip? Well, I think the problem is on some of these trips and some of the expenditures, it's possible that once these reports are written, people are going to say, where's the beef? You didn't need to go to that. You could have done that on emails. We could have done that with a webinar. You didn't actually have to go. So I don't know. There's a part of me that says that there ought to be some kind of permission slip, and it has to line up with the goals of everybody in the territory. Trip to the United Nations doesn't necessarily do anything for the taxpayers of Guam.
Correct. Yeah, and that's our problem, and we shouldn't be operating it that way. And if you did go on these trips, and as what the Organic Act says, what we're responsible for as senators is that where's your bill? Where is your bill? What law did you amend, or what law did you recommend based on your experience from this trip? How did it help the island? So,
Well, like I said, I think in some cases, just the idea that some of these senators are off island and incapable of meddling while they're traveling, maybe that's justification enough. Would you spend $2,000? Would you Hawaii? So for a week, we didn't have to put up with you. Great. Okay, that might be justification for us.
Yeah.
So 20 less resolutions that got written, and 20 different weddings and funerals that weren't attended while you were gone. Maybe that turns into a plus for Guam.
Right, and let's consider again part-time legislature. So we can get folks in here that will focus on those 2 months of being in session and producing some good legislation for the people of Guam.
Well, I got that, and obviously you and I are the part-time legislature guys. Are there anybody else? Because I think I'm going to go forward with this Republican thing, and use that as a platform for some of the other guys that want to come in and make some serious changes to the way we govern ourselves. So it's me and you under the Republican banner. Who else?
I'm still looking. And it's difficult to find people to do this. But if we go in with a platform to make the legislature part-time, and we get 10 people doing that, we can make a difference.
I would hope so. I keep my fingers crossed that something like that's going to happen. 7:48 in the morning, Jim. It's always fun talking with you. I'm going to let you get back to the Manumcos and some of the things that they're going to be talking about. In the meantime, as a member of the business community here on Guam, I would urge the legislature with whatever voice you have in that Democratic female-run body. I would urge them to take a look at Christine Boleto's pleas, another round of pleas from the Chamber of Commerce and the private sector. To put a freeze on the rate hike, the minimum wage hike.
I definitely agree with that.
Yep.
It's just a postponement.
Yeah, you can have it in September, but give some of these businesses like Dennis's a chance to hold their breath just a little bit longer as we try to make our way through this coronavirus. 7:49. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, buddy. 888-888-255-888-TALK. That's not the lone conservative voice on Guam. Certainly the lone conservative voice over at the legislature. Ken LG from time to time will pop his head in over at the legislature and try to put some common sense into the mix for whatever it's worth. But they've taken that common sense now and thrown it in the pretend Marianas Trench that they have out in front of the building.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me how many different ways they can come up and spend money to accomplish absolutely nothing at all. The trips are one example, and now this. Because that paint wasn't free. That paint had to be purchased, and the artist probably didn't do it for free.
I don't know what kind of arrangement was made. We're not questioning the value of the art or the idea of street art. It's just, what is it doing at the legislature? This is supposed to be, the building that is representative of one of the branches, one of the three branches of our government, where you would think more serious thinking was going on behind those doors, but obviously it isn't. They wanted to be a stop on the
announcing to the people that the legislature for what it is. It's an abyss. It's a bottomless hole that tax dollars flow into and are never seen again.
Amen to that. It's now a stop on the mural tours that people have.
Well, as you know, I objected to the mural on the library. I went to the Election Commission. They referred me to Department of Public Works. This echo is killing me.
I'm sorry. I don't know why you have an echo.
I do. It's a bad one. Anyway, Public Works Election Commission says any complaints about the mural need to be directed to Public Works. So in my travels today, I'm going to get permission from Public Works because I want to do a mural there at Adelup. You know that wall they have facing the soccer field there in front?
Yep.
I want to put a mural there. And I mean, if a mural can be put on a government building, I should be able to put a mural on that building.
Think you ought to be?
I won't even charge the government.
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead, go and do all of those things because apparently there's no rules. You just pop a mural wherever you want to, and nobody's going to say anything. But again, it's not the mural. I don't have a problem with the street art. I think it's a lovely picture. Belongs in Tumon. Belongs over at Chamorro Village. where they say that the Chamorro Village was absolutely packed last night. So maybe if there were no Chamorro villagers over at Plaza de España, it must have been because they were over at the Chamorro Village doing the Wednesday night deal.
Well, my goal is to see that more people run for the legislatures. You know, I'm having the same problems that Senator Moylan is trying to find people to run, and for the same reason. Someone pointed out to me they missed the good old days when Al Israel and this whole list of senators were in the legislature. And they were there because it was part-time. They could still run their businesses. And you know what? They didn't introduce 300 bills and 300 resolutions either.
Right.
So what we're getting for our full time is not quality. We're just getting quantity, and it's not good stuff. And that's why we need to encourage more people to run, because if you've ever had political ambitions, this is the year to run. And especially new people.
Well, you're going to need to explain that. I don't disagree with you, but I think you're going to need to explain that to people that are kind of curious about this.
Well, the animosity in the public is higher than the pay raises. And during the pay raises, we knocked out 6 senators.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm expecting at a minimum that there will be 6, probably 8 on their way out. And there is a resistance in the public now that I've never seen before against the traditional names, traditional faces, and family politics.
Sure.
The public has learned that the quality of the government we get and the quality of the life we lead is a result of who we put in the people's house. And so they're going to be looking very hard. I mean, people are already asking me about the list. We don't know who's running yet. I can't make a list when we don't know who's running.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing some names, but I'm not hearing enough of the names. And frankly, we still have to punch through what I consider one of the bigger problems, and that is the cliques that exist in both of the parties. Unless you're a cool kid, you ain't going to get any stage time, or you're not going to get any real support from the party unless you sit at the cool kids table. And unfortunately, I think we need to create a whole new cool kids table. 7:55. I got to let you go. I got a bigger name online. Want to talk to you soon?
All right.
All right, buddy. I appreciate that. The bigger name is Chris Belletto from the Chamber of Commerce, and I was delighted to see that you have renewed your push, not taking no for an answer with the government of Guam, at the legislature, and Adelup, and are asking them again, in the light of new information and headline information, that we really got to give some of the businesses, big and small here, some room to breathe with this coronavirus. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Ray.
And always nice to hear from you. Have you actually crafted legislation that would only require either an emergency hearing being called by the governor's office or public hearing at the legislature? Is there already paper and pen and words?
We have not, but we're certainly willing to do so. I think the issue that we have right now is we're just not getting any indication of support for the measure. And so, you know, we've put out the question of, if this is not how we help our businesses survive, then what solutions can we talk about that will help?
Well, I'll give you one right now. I'll give you one right now. And there is already legislation. It's been written, as far as I know. It's held up in committee because it's Jimmy Moylan's bill. We roll back that business privilege tax. Take it back to 4. I think that's one that floats everybody's boat. That everybody in the community, regardless of where you are in the social structure and the economic structure of Guam, would see more dollars in their pockets at the end of the trip to the grocery store, more money in their pocket when they go to the gas station as a result of the change in the business privilege tax.
That's a good point, and absolutely that's another issue that we've been raising and requesting relief from. They point to the small business exemption or the reduction in the GRT that was passed or was implemented this year, but we keep pointing out to the senators that when someone's making $50,000 a year, they probably don't have an employee, and even at $100,000 a year, if you just think about that, they have to pay for the cost of goods. The difference between that cost of goods at 20% markup is $20,000.
Yeah.
you factor in rent, utility, any of your operational expense, you don't have employees. And so, that relief is not going to help businesses survive the minimum wage increase.
Unbelievable. Running into this situation, and all you need to do is show today's newspapers to people in the legislature, et cetera. Today, business hours cut as tourism drops. This is small business in Tumon. Can you imagine what his rent and utilities are like? He's got to have customers in there, and he's got to have people to serve him. And Dennis Rainier now is not getting as many customers. Nothing wrong with the quality of the service and nothing wrong with the quality of the food or the prices. So it's got to be the coronavirus that's hurting him. Front page of the PDN, Korean Air, Jin Air are canceling the remainder of their flights to Guam in February. 57 less flights are coming in. And all you got to do is factor in the number of chairs on those airplanes and the kind of spend that would have come if those seats were full. And we see even more problems. They just had a get together in Tumon over at the Lotte Hotel talking about $9 million worth of impact that we know of already, 15,000 plus cancellations. So I'm trying to figure out how they still are managing to isolate themselves from the rest of the world.
And that's actually our point. I mean, I know some are saying, well, let's just wait to see what happens, but we already know just the impact of those cancellations, the ramifications through the entire economy is going to happen, And to point out, those businesses in Tumon and the one that went public with the reduction of hours is not a chamber member. So we're not fighting just for chamber members. We're fighting for the businesses and, for the preservation of as much as possible for employees to earn a paycheck. The reduction in hours is the first step, but it continues, and as the impact becomes greater, I mean, there's no choice but to lay off, and that's what we want to avoid.
At all costs. At all costs.
Yes,
we need to, and we, the tandem conversation about what else is going on Guam and the fact that the legislature and the government don't seem to be living with the same kind of bills that we've got around here, and they have managed to even increase their own rents in an attempt to pull in more money. 7:59, Chris, I got to let you run. I'll talk to you very soon. I do appreciate your time. The radio station KUSG had gotten you standby. We've got news from Fox News coming up here in just a second. On the other side of that, Mona Silva Tyrant will have a look at all of the big stories that we are going to be talking about for the remainder of the program. More conversation about the airbag recall in a 9 o'clock hour. That's ahead here on The Point.
Linked to the Russia probe. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. This time it's coming from a former congressman who claims a pardon was offered to the founder of WikiLeaks. Fox's Jared Halpern is live in Washington.
Julian Assange's legal team plans to claim he was offered a pardon by the Trump administration in exchange for agreeing to say Russia was not involved in leaking emails from the Democratic National Committee. Assange is fighting extradition to the U.S. At a hearing in London, a lawyer for Assange said former Congressman Dana Rohrabacher made that pardon offer on instructions from President Trump in 2017. White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham calls that claim a complete fabrication and a total lie, adding President Trump barely knows Rohrabacher, and the two never spoke on the subject. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. The White House also reiterating a Justice Department statement that Attorney General William Barr has no plans to resign after publicly criticizing the president's tweets on DOJ issues, including the Roger Stone case.
The president has the right to defend himself just like any other American citizen. He's done it before, and I'm sure he'll do it again.
But spokesman Hogan Gidley insists that does not mean the president is ignoring Barr's concern. Former Democratic Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich says he's a Trumpocrat. A day after the president commuted his 14-year corruption sentence, he served 8 years.
How do you properly thank someone who's given you back the freedom that was stolen from you? He didn't have to do this.
Blagojevich says it was an act of kindness and also says he'll fight for criminal justice reform, calling the current system broken and racist. President Trump is in California now. Later tonight, he will rally in Phoenix as Democrats take the stage for their 9th debate of the 2020 election. Mike Bloomberg sharing the stage for the first time. America is listening to Fox News.
If you've ever struggled for breath, you know what a scary experience it is. Whether you have asthma, emphysema, COPD, lung cancer, or another respiratory illness, the right medical treatment makes all the difference. GRMC's Pulmonology Clinic has the latest technology and respiratory equipment, staffed by world-class pulmonologists. Make an appointment today with GRMC's Pulmonology Clinic and start breathing easier. GRMC, where patients are partners.
Half a day. This is Alicia Blas from Security Title with a gentle reminder that your first installment of property taxes is due February 20. You might not know, but if you purchase property after March 4, 2019, you most likely will not receive a tax bill in the mail, but you still owe the tax. To make payment, take a copy of your deed to Revenue Tax in Barragata and ask for the tax bill. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
The number of deaths worldwide from the new coronavirus climbing to more than 2,000, still mostly in China.
If we get a worldwide pandemic where you have sustained transmission in multiple regions throughout the world, then it's going to be very difficult to adequately contain it anywhere.
Dr. Anthony Fauci at the National Institutes of Health also says it was the right call to bring some Americans home from a cruise ship in Japan after a 2-week quarantine ended. Despite concerns about the effectiveness of the quarantine, hundreds on the ship were sickened. Worldwide, it's now more than 75,000 cases. Reports in Iran that their first 2 patients died only hours after the reports they had tested positive, both described as elderly Iranian citizens. 2 days after a terrifying crash, a NASCAR driver is out of the hospital.
Chrissy Newman, the wife of NASCAR driver Ryan Newman, posting video Wednesday of him and his 2 daughters walking hand in hand out of Halifax Medical Center in Daytona Beach. Newman jokingly calling his little girls Ashlyn and Brooklyn his therapy daughters. Newman's recovery quite speedy, considering it was Monday night that he was ruled in serious condition following a fiery crash on the final lap of the Great American Race that sent him airborne, landing in turn 1 at Daytona International Speedway with his vehicle overcome by sparks and flames. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Burger King breaks the mold, literally, with its new advertising campaign.
The burger chain is showing a Whopper covered in mold in print and TV ads running in Europe and the U.S. The unconventional marketing plan is to show that Burger King is removing artificial preservatives from the Whopper. So far, the preservative-free Whopper is available in several European countries and around 400 Burger King U.S. locations and will reach all of its restaurants this year.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. McDonald's stopped using artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives for some of its burgers in 2018. And Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
With a new decade, there are new opportunities. And with new opportunities, there is always a chance to say yes. Yes to that car. Yes to that business venture. Yes to that new house. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes. Member FDIC.
Denny's is making lunchtime a little more special. Every Monday through Friday, they serve a variety of local favorite soups, such as chicken adobo on Mondays, oxtail soup on Tuesdays and Thursdays, chicken tinola on Wednesdays, and pork sinigang on Fridays, while supplies last. All orders are served with rice. Senior citizens get a special menu, which includes a free soup or salad. Make Denny's your new lunch spot, located in Tumuning and the Micronesia Mall.
Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated team in Guam and on the U.S. mainland are here to support you. So call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Good morning. It's 8:06. I'm Ana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news from the Guam Daily Post. Police remain on the scene of a fatal car crash on Marine Corps Drive in Upper Tumon. The crash took place just before 3:30 this morning. Officers on the scene said a white sedan ran off the road and crashed into a wall at Tossie 17 condominiums. It is believed that the driver may have been speeding when he lost control of the vehicle. Investigators will try to determine if he was under the influence of alcohol. Guam Fire Department acting spokeswoman Charika Chargaloff said 4 occupants were in the vehicle and 1 was transported to GRMC with CPR en route. Santos Hill will be closed to traffic, and all southbound traffic from that intersection by Tossie 17 in front of Nissan in Upper Tumon will be closed, so motorists are urged to take an alternate route and expect delays in any other side road. Federal Public Defender John Gorman says the District Court of Guam's chief judge does in fact have jurisdiction to hear the complaints from multiple prisoners who allege inhumane conditions at the Department of Corrections Hagutnya Detention Facility. He says this is not a civil lawsuit. It's also undisputed that the defendants are in the custody of the U.S. Marshal Service and that the USMS is responsible for the safe, humane care and custody of those placed in its care. On February 11th, 9 federal detainees and inmates appeared in the District Court of Guam to talk about the inhumane and unconstitutional conditions at the prison, and they say that their Eighth Amendment rights have been violated. So far, more than 45 local detainees and inmates at the Department of Corrections Hagutnya facility have been bused to DOC's Mangilaw compound. The move was made to alleviate the overcrowding and to allow prison staff to clean up the facility. Another hearing set to take place on the 24th of February. In 9 months from February to October 2019, more than $66,000 was spent on travel by senators and staff at the legislature. And this has one Republican senator looking at ensuring the future travel is justified. Senator Jim Moylan filed a resolution to require senators and their staff to file a travel justification report. Of the total of $66,000 noted in the legislature's travel, Senator Regine Bisco-Lee spent the most at $16,767. While all who traveled did submit the required documents, Moylan's resolution would require additional information that shows how the island benefits from the travel. There's no word on when that resolution will be put up for a public hearing. More news after this.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
A homeowner's policy protects much more than just your house. It also protects you against claims from someone being hurt on your property. If a visitor is injured at your place, how much are you covered for? The smart thing to do is get the answer today.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
A registered sex offender is back in jail after being accused of inappropriately touching a 15-year-old girl. 36-year-old Troy Tenorio is charged with failure to register, a change of address with the Guam Sex Offender Registry, and criminal sexual conduct. Investigators were looking into the report of the criminal sexual conduct when they discovered that Tenorio failed to report his new address. He had previously been convicted on sex assault charges back in 2005, the victim in that case, 13 at the time. And a woman accused of setting a home on fire last month in Ipan wants to plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge. 49-year-old Ray Roberto was indicted by a Superior Court of Guam grand jury on charges of arson as a third-degree felony and 2 counts of criminal mischief as a third-degree felony. Defense attorney Curtis Vandevelde told the court Roberto has signed a deferred plea deal with the government. He entered the deferred plea deal on her behalf to charges of negligent burning as a misdemeanor. Back in January, Roberto allegedly got into an argument with a man before taking a 10-pound weight and damaged 2 vehicles parked in the front yard. Several people inside the home said that she tried to set fire to the mattress in the bedroom and to towels and clothing, among other things. The witnesses say that they were able to stop most of the fires, and at one point a family member had to pull the defendant out of the house because one of the fires had spread. Roberto is scheduled back in court before presiding Judge Alberto Lamarena on February 24th. The Boy Scouts of America's Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing does impact the growing number of sex abuse lawsuits filed against the organization, and that includes the cases filed here on Guam. The cases are already in the process of being transferred and combined with all of the pending sex abuse claims against the Boy Scouts. The bankruptcy case filed in Delaware will allow the Boy Scouts to bring all of the lawsuits into one court and try to negotiate a settlement rather than using the organization's funds to fight each case in court, which might leave some victims with nothing, according to Reuters. Guam attorney Patrick Seville, who represents the Boy Scouts on Guam, filed a notice of transfer of the Guam cases to the Delaware District Court. And those are some of your top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Here now is Ray with your weather.
Well, thanks very much. And while I'm doing the weather, let me put this up on the screen. We were asking people to send in their pictures of their cans.
Oh,
that is their
that's
can of Spam. That's different.
Korea.
I don't. Yeah, I guess it's a Korean version of Spam. It was purchased in Taguig in BGC in the Philippines, where you and I like to go hang out.
Well, you know, in Korea, Spam is supposed to be one of those things that it's actually an honor that you give somebody Spam, like you give it for their weddings and for special events.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a big deal in Korea.
All right, so we got people, and this is delightful because people are sending in the pictures of their Spam, and it's nice to see that folks are eating the one with less sodium in it. Because I tell you what, it tastes just like Spam. You can't tell the difference between that. You can't tell that there's less sodium in it. So it's a healthier alternative for people to be eating when it comes to the Spam stuff. Now, there were a couple of other pictures that I got. There's that one, and let me scooch down because there's somebody had sent me a picture, just a gorgeous picture of a sunrise this morning. I'll have to click around and find it because otherwise I'm basically putting people's phone numbers on the air. Breezy conditions for today. Partly cloudy with isolated light showers. Northeast winds blowing 20 to 25 mph. Daytime highs 87 degrees for tonight. Partly cloudy skies and isolated light showers. Winds east 10 to 20 miles an hour, and overnight lows looks like they're about 74 degrees. Let me get an idea of where things are right now. 78.5 degrees outside. Humidity is at about 73%, so rather dry for us here on Guam. Sunset tonight at 6:27, so round up the usual suspects. Find someplace really cool and something really cool to hold as you're watching the sunset. Looked pretty good last night. Could be outrageous tonight. We'll see what happens. 8:13, that's news and weather together here on The Point.
Yikes, are those Christmas bills coming in? Wait, hold on. That was last month. Now it's this month. But by popular demand, we're extending our New Year's solution 4.65% personal loan through February. Money for whatever you want at 4.65% APR from Bank Pacific. We're still celebrating.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender as low as 4.65%. Conditions apply.
Right. I got it. Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by, who are these guys again? American President Lines, APL, a global presence with a local home. My friends over at Take Care Insurance. These guys have got all kinds of great plans to ensure that you maintain a healthy, balanced lifestyle, preventative care, being active, eating right, relaxing and unwinding, and being socially connected. Very, very important. It's good to have friends, isn't it? 8:14, and you and your friends gather up together and swing by the Denny's and go and enjoy something that they do every day there. Kids eat free Monday through Thursday. With every purchase of one adult entree, your one child gets a free entree from the kids' menu. Yes! We love that. Mac and cheese and all the goodness there. Drinks not included. Available only for kids 10 and below. Other terms and conditions apply. Find out by taking them to Denny's.
Real Talk Radio is back. Welcome to The Point, Guam's FM News Talk Superstation.
Way. Honest and for true. All right, I'll get to that in a second. But like I said, one of the pictures of sunrise, this looks like sunrise on the other side of the island coming through this morning, and you'd be surprised at how gorgeous some of those things can be. Now, Mona Silva Tyrant says, you have sent me, they've actually got a what?
It's a gift pack that they give in Korea. They have various ones, but this is the one that I was able to pull up really quick. But it's such a
Did
delicacy
you send it to me?
there. I did. I sent it to Choice.
Oh, I don't. Oh, you don't send it to this. Send it to the station WhatsApp.
That is.
No,
That's
Choice.
what I did.
Choice is that's for everybody in the office. The station WhatsApp is the Point WhatsApp 988-5874.
I need that.
You're Academy girl, right? 988-5874.
Here.
So yeah, send that and I'll be able to. That's why I keep saying what you send me stuff and I have no idea which one it is. Okay, now it's got to go through the internet and then find its way to the phone.
You have to set up like 7 different WhatsApps.
And people do that. Everybody does have 7 different WhatsApps. Who doesn't? All right, so there's the picture. Now this is the wedding set. You said?
Yeah, or it's a gift set. You can give it for any special event, but it's such a they honor people with cans of Spam.
What is that? Oh, like olive oil in the side of that?
Yeah, and then they have some with the rice wine. Just depends on what picture you're looking at.
Wow.
But they're different kinds of sets.
See, I want to go to Korea. After that, the Language of Love thing that they had last week over at the museum, and the calendar that they put out. Every month on the 14th there is some love thing. There's something for couples to celebrate, and I thought that was just the most romantic thing in the world. So every month on the 14th you've got something to celebrate and an excuse to go out and have Spam. to go and eat something that's got spam in it. 8:16 in the morning.
True.
That's the way things are working out here. Now, you'd sent me something else. Let me see if I can get that up on the screen as well for this the segment where we will pretend to try to talk about sports, right?
That's that one. I actually sent it to the right one, and it's Rocky's fight that's coming up, and it's going to be on pay-per-view for those who can't fly to Japan to catch the
That's
fight.
our guy.
That's our guy. That's our nephew.
Rocky Martinez. Congratulations. Yeah. So he's going to be performing in what's this event now called?
Hold on, let me pull it up because I don't remember.
Yeah, because the screen cap that you sent me is too small for me to look at. So see if you can see. It's too small for me. It's the right size on the screen, but Real Joe, can you make any of that stuff?
It's a Ryzen 21.
Ryzen 21.
Heavyweight champ.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How come he doesn't wear readers?
I don't, because he's not old enough.
He is. He's only a year younger than me.
Okay, so I don't know that he's healthy. So it's going to be on pay-per-view is the point, right? Is the thing?
Yep, $19.99.
Yes.
When is it going to be? Can you see that?
22nd.
Thanks.
That's 2 days from now.
Can you come shopping with me?
I'm nearsighted.
I was going to say, Real Joe, come shopping. Gus Gisangas was
Wait, what's that?
I don't know. I'm the guy that, I'm sitting around. Sometimes I forget my glasses, I'll be at a restaurant or something like that. And, the guy will bring me my tab and I can't read it. So, I'll go to somebody at the next table over and say, could you know what number is this? At the very bottom, what number is there a tip in there? Is there a gratuity that's already been charged? I just need you to help me because I got to figure out what the tip is going to be so I can leave this place and they don't spit in my food the next time I come here. So, I'm that guy. But anymore. When I first started, you talk about reading glasses, right? When I first started with the reading glasses, I didn't know I needed them. I knew I had distance issues. This was pre-LASIK, and so I knew that I had problems seeing far, far away, but I didn't realize that I was also developing problems seeing close up because I had, by that time, had about 31 or 32 birthdays. And somebody said, oh, I know what that's from. And they said, here, try this, and put on a pair of reading glasses. And it was like being able to see again for the first time in my life. And I thought, this is wonderful. Thank you very much. Yeah. And I went to the store and immediately bought me a pair of plus ones. And I thought, this is great. And just, have plus ones all the time.
Are you plus 3 now? Or
200, I think, is where the optometrist likes it to be at. So about 200, between 200 and 250 is where I'm at right now. Not quite to the graduation level.
This is terrible for me because my negative font on my WhatsApp is still stuck. So I can't read anything. But I have this terrible habit. I wear contact lenses to see far, but I can't read with my contact lenses on, so I pull my contact lens to the side and I can read out of my right eye.
So you're
constantly, and it's such a bad habit, and I know I'm not supposed to do it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of conjunctivitis? Comes up about once a year.
My hands are very clean. I carry around
back to school season.
Antibacterial.
20 after 8 o'clock in the morning. There is some other sports stuff that we are going to encounter and talk about here before too much longer. I thought I had a whole bunch of it all set aside. And as usual, while the news is playing, I should probably take better steps to sort out what it is I'm going to talk about in the next hour. But in this case, screw it. We'll just play it by ear. Bank of Guam is requesting lane closure on Marine Corps Drive for their race on March the 14th. That's the Bank of Guam EFIT 5K, 2K that's going to be taking place. Where is that? Between 5 o'clock showtime and go at 6 o'clock in the morning. And they ought to have everything wrapped up on the road by about 7:30. So if you're on the road, if you're planning on driving around, watch out for the runners. If you are a runner, start making plans to go get yourself registered for the Bank of Guam 2K, 5K. Again, March the 14th. See, it's happening on the 14th. It's the weekend, so maybe there ought to be some kind of love thing that takes place. Not really from the world of sports, but it is kind of sports related. They got that bingo thing. Bingo's a sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
The way the old ladies play, it's a sport. But the bingo jackpot here is now up to $4.8 million for today's contest. It's Thursday, so they're going to be doing a drawing for numbers a little bit later on. This is important. It's also key because clearly there are winners. They do this all the time. And I want to say the Thursday a couple of weeks ago was like $12 million. Now, I don't know that anybody is winning the jackpots, but there are a bunch of people that are winning the smaller prizes. I'm sorry, it's not millions of dollars, but it's tens of thousands of dollars. So maybe I still haven't... It's what, $9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for like the cheap version. There's a more expensive version that you can get.
I believe so.
Yeah, and I'm at Payless twice, 3 times a week. You would think one of these days that I'd take a chance and throw some money down and see what's going to happen. But no, I don't know. Better Communications maintenance plans to fix the pools. Joan Chargers is writing, come Friday, it will mark 2 weeks since an oversight hearing was held with the Department of Parks and Recreation to address the dilapidated public pools. Still haven't gotten the Agana swimming pool open. Dededo is open, and everybody is excited about that. A lot of people going to the Dededo pool for because they don't know when it's going to close again, and they want to make sure that they get in there at least once or twice before it gets shut down again.
Can you catch coronavirus in a swimming pool?
I'll say yes. I don't know. The coronavirus thing, and James Howard's online, and he'll tell you what we think we know about coronavirus seems to change every other day. It's the things like, oh yeah, we'll just get some test kits, and then they say, well, the test kits might not be able to find everything that's in there, might not be able to find it if it's latent. So I don't know.
But the pool's very chlorinated, apparently over-chlorinated before it was shut down.
Yeah. Eddie Cruz online, we were talking earlier about the impact of the coronavirus on tourism. Eddie says, well, this past weekend there were so many Asian tourists in Tumon. Is there already an impact from the virus? I don't see empty streets just yet. They're out there. They're crawling around.
There's a lot of people who are here for that
Cope North for sure.
Cope North.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you were doing the census to see, whether they were all Asians or Caucasians and other folks that might be associated with the military, stateside or somebody. I don't know if you were marking the difference between the customers. Having been down in Tumon, more often in the last month than normal, I've got to say that there's still business going on down there. And when I get to that four-way intersection over by the Tea Galleria and the small little version of Pika's, it's busy there. But, it's like drive time. So you get payday drive time, and then you got regular drive time. And regular drive time, it's traffic, it peaks, and it's crazy, and then it goes away, real quick drop-off. And then you got drive time, payday drive time, where it starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you've got this long peak, and it doesn't go away until quarter after 7 o'clock. So I think that's maybe one of the things that you're seeing is while you were there, there's tourists, but we're not seeing a long string of tourists through the course of the day. They're out there at peak times, and then they go back into the swimming pools and back into the confines of the hotels. Millie Lahana-Fison saying, Biba, Republican. Millie, is your guy Vince? Is he going to be a Republican and go for a part-time legislature? I think that's going to be key to whether or not he's going to be getting a whole lot of support. Who else is playing around? What happened, Eddie Cruz says, to the technology industry that we so highly talked about? We allowed all these new undersea cables to land on Guam and talked highly of the possibility of receiving tax revenue increases because of the creation of this new industry. I don't know. I remember there were people that were talking about that, saying, oh, we got the technology and we'll start getting these kids into higher paying, better benefited IT jobs and IT training that we're going to take advantage of it. I don't know that it has grown to industry level, the likes that we see with the military and construction and the hospitality industry, but it's there. I know people in the IT business, telecom guys, seem to be enjoying life. Aisha McKinnon is online. Nice to see Gene Flores there. Who else is on? Jess Limtiaco, Captain Obvious strikes again. You talking about me there, buddy? I love getting into it. Jess Limtiaco is one of my favorite debaters on the Facebook Live. He's not one of those guys that is going to line up with the business community on the freezing of the minimum wages. And his point is, Lau, if you can't afford to pay your employees an additional $20 a week, maybe you need to re-examine your business models. A lot of business models we got floating around here have got razor-thin margins on them that were put together for business reasons that make sense. When you've got something as arbitrary as the legislature coming around and saying, well, we're going to raise the minimum wage. And you go, what are we going to raise it to? And the guy says, hold on a second, closes his eyes and goes like this and puts his finger down on something and goes, $1. That's what we'll do. So I'd like to know what brilliant economic thesis went into the discovery of a dollar being that magic number that is going to magically lift people out of poverty and increase the likelihood of their success here in life. Equity for one and all, because they're going to get a dollar increase over 2 years at 50 cents apiece. Is it what was the economic theory that drove that particular number? You know what it was? It was politics, plain and simple, guy. And politics should not be a factor in people deciding on what their business model is going to be looking like. Bill Cruz is on. I get Crystal Schnabel is there, Roy Burgess, and Sam Strickland. Dave Evans, good morning to you. Ron Brantley, Lady D is there. Chris Abalencia, Darlene Bloss, Lynn Perez. I see Mika Caldwell. How about that? Jose Martinez is online. Rudy Magallanes and James Camacho Moylan is there. Ryan Wyan, Zaywert Franco Zulian, and Enrico Blancaflor says spam straight out of the can with kimchi and steamed rice. Yeah. Let me just repeat that for people.
You don't want to make it crispy?
Spam straight out of the can with kimchi, and you put that on steamed rice. Somewhere along the way, we've got to put seaweed. Right? Yeah, there needs to be a little bit. Just furikake. Sprinkle some of that in there on the rice. But I don't. Yeah,
I
but
like
I'm
my
with,
spam a little bit crispy.
I'm with you on that one.
Cold rice.
You ever took a can of spam into the woods, Ray, and felt like you were roughing it because you ate it raw? Because you didn't cook it?
You ever make spam Kelligwin? You squish it up with your bare hands?
Yeah.
You got to take your rings off.
Tatizas. I'm thinking that I've got the flavor of Tatizas in my mouth here working for me. Team Guam readying for the game against New Zealand. Mana's excited about that because anytime New Zealand does any kind of sporting event at all, there's going to be the performance of the haka. And you can be a fat guy and do the haka and still look buff, you know? You ever see that with these guys in different sports and that kind of, it doesn't matter whether you're fat or thin or built like the Rock or something like that. When you start doing the haka, everybody looks kind of buff.
Well, yeah,
Real Joe's making the haka face.
Even the face is kind of cool.
It's intimidating.
Yeah.
I know it is. All right. Anyway, 8:28. God, there was some other sports stuff in here. Did I mention the other day what the most expensive sport is for parents to get their kids into?
No.
I thought I might have had.
But I tell you, every single sport that I ever put my kids into, it's like you spend $500 and then they don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, step one. Yeah,
$500. I don't want to play anymore.
The most expensive one for little girls, by the way, is gymnastics. I know that from painful personal experience, as well as watching the painful personal experiences of other people that have to write the checks to the place where you train them to be gymnasts. And there's no such thing as a cheap gymnastics outfit for a girl. And so when the one cool girl gets that style, then all of the other girls have to have that one as well.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean it's just like private school. there's cliques and there's the girl, there's the cool girl, and it's what she's wearing. So watch out for that.
She's trendsetters.
Lady D says she loves the faces that they make when they do the haka. And Pam Duvall with a. Spam's going to be our story. Spam instead of corned beef for hash, onions, and garlic. Okay, I can deal with that. But every once in a while, you gotta enjoy corned beef. You go to Linda's and have them make whatever it is that they make. Just ask them for corned beef on it. There is a place in Bonifacio Global City that makes it looks like a French restaurant, and they play French music in there. But for breakfast, I eat breakfast there about 3 times when I'm in town. And they've got this thing comes out with a couple of eggs, and there's toast, and there's garlic rice, and you mix up the garlic rice with the corned beef, and you've got some slivers. Joe. Yeah, you got slivers of onions in there.
The guy's hungry, and you keep talking about stuff.
I've got to start bringing food because every morning you make me hungry.
Yeah, well, go ahead. It's good for you. Roland Torres online, Evelyn Trinidad, and Mark Cruz saying spam and tatizas sandwich. When's the last time that we did a spam cook-off?
A long time.
It's been forever.
Judge. I was a judge in that one, and it was at the Agana Shopping Center, and I had been dieting prior to that. And it was not the ideal food to eat after you come off of this diet for bodybuilding, right? And oh my gosh, I got sick to my stomach, but it was well worth it.
Yeah, but just like, because of the transition, not because of the actual meal. I recall, I want to say one of the last spam cook-offs that I was a part of might have been at Gibson's. It might have been that long ago that we were doing this over in the back corner over at Gibson's once upon a time, about where. You know?
But when we were was I with you or was I with Phil? When we were in Hawaii and they had a spam, It was a spam festival. And they actually shut down a portion of Waikiki for this spam festival.
We should totally do that.
Oh, yeah.
To shut down Marine Corps Drive like the cops did today.
I totally...
I don't know about that. All right,
yeah, I
8:31.
totally think so. I think it would be really
Then there's this story, and not sports related, but it is one that will go. Oh, that's so cute. An 8-week-old Chihuahua has made an unlikely friend at a Rochester, New York animal shelter. A pigeon that can't fly. The pigeon, named Herman, who's been living at the shelter for over a year, was likely left flightless due to the West Nile virus or some kind of brain injury. Lundy arrived 6 weeks ago, unable to use his hind legs. So what we've got here is, let me put this up on the screen.
Oh my God!
So we've got little Chihuahua Lundy and Herman, the flightless bird, and there might even be some audio.
That's a rat.
Don't say that about Chihuahuas. I did that once. I almost got punched in the lip because somebody was showing off their Chihuahua. I said, those aren't real dogs.
No,
they're actually rats that are bred to look like dogs. And the guy just looked at me and like he was going to kill me. But the fact of the matter is, the Chihuahua would have killed me first. Chihuahuas, but basically, a lot of people say that the training, there's no more violent dog than others. That's a learned behavior. They learn that in their training. They learn that from human beings, except Chihuahuas that are just born nasty. They're just nasty, mean dogs.
I think it's a Napoleon syndrome kind of deal.
Gotta be. And the thing is, they're territorial. They're territorial as hell.
Compensating for their size.
But they're territorial about their people. Have you ever?
We owned a dog. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that. The dog hated me. But if you've got Real Joe,
dogs hate you.
If Real Joe had a Chihuahua, and if I was just trying to get close to Real Joe, like walking near, maybe being in the same building as Joe, that dog would start barking. I'm making that little tiny Chihuahua noise, and they're like brown tree snakes. They've got teeth, but they don't actually. There's no venom. They bite you, but it doesn't hurt.
I found that the hard way. I got bit in the face by a Chihuahua, getting close to it, trying to kiss it. Oh, you're so cute.
So yeah, it's talk radio that matters. Most of the morning spent on spam and Chihuahua dogs. 888-825-5888 TALK is a telephone number. WhatsApp me your fun stuff. Show me your can. 988-5874. So far, getting a lot of pictures of guys' cans. I'm waiting. I would like to see the pictures of some of the girls' cans out there. 988-5874. Mana's got her last look at news coming up next.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training.
Hi, I'm Jerry Roberts, and every day on The Ray Gibson Show, I get to comment on the incredibly diverse, fun, challenging, sometimes frustrating, often exciting, but always interesting world of work. I hope you'll be there with us.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts. Brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank on 93.3 The Point.
With a new decade, there are new opportunities. And with new opportunities, there is always a chance to say yes. Yes to that car. Yes to that business venture. Yes to that new house. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes. Member FDIC.
Okay, got it. It's 8:35 now, and time for our last look at morning headlines. Now with news from the Guam Daily Post, here's Mana Silva Tyron.
Well, there are some big traffic delays already along Marine Corps Drive and side roads as police continue their investigation into a fatal car crash this morning. They have traffic along Santos Hill closed and southbound traffic closed on Marine Corps Drive from the intersection by Tossie 17 across the Nissan Upper Tumon location. The crash took place just before 3:30 this morning. Officers said that a white sedan ran off the road and crashed into a wall at the Tossie 17 condominiums. It is believed that the driver may have been speeding when he lost control of the car. Investigators will try to determine if he was under the influence of alcohol. Guam Fire acting spokeswoman Sharika Chargaloff said 4 occupants were in the vehicle and 1 was transported to the hospital with medics performing CPR en route. Donations are being accepted for a family who lost their home in a fire this week in Dededo. The fire resulted in 2 teenagers being injured. The teens aged 13 and 16. They managed to escape from the burning home. The Red Cross said that they provided the family with some food donations of clothing as well, and the Dededo Mayor's Office also calling for donations if you have any. You can drop them off at the Dededo Mayor's Office. They are looking for household items, blankets, and monetary donations if possible. And the Guam Chamber of Commerce has made a follow-up appeal for the legislature and the governor to work toward delaying the Guam's minimum wage increase set to take place in March. One restaurant has already said it's been forced to close for lunchtime hours and cut back business hours. The wage hike goes into effect on the 1st of March. The governor said that she can't hold back the increase on her own, and the legislature will need to pass legislation. The legislature, however, has not responded to the plea by the Guam Chamber of Commerce. And those are some of your headlines from the Guam Daily Post. For more on these stories, you can pick up a copy of the paper or log on to the website at postguam.com.
This is the cool thing about technology. Is we use our technology here at the radio station for purposes of good. I will tell you that, and we like the idea that we can do radio with video. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, maybe on a handheld device, maybe on an Apple, awesome. We think that's fantastic. There's other parts of the digital lifestyle. he just Mana just saw it. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, we've got a couple of different versions of Michael Keaton, and one of them made Mana laugh out loud. See, this is why Gus, thank you very much. You just if she was drinking coffee at the time, it would have squirted right out of her nose, and you would have owed her a new keyboard.
Man, Ray, he used to be my favorite Batman. Now I don't know.
Michael Keaton and Michael Keaton.
That is the best.
Brilliant, right? 8 is so fun being Guamanian, isn't it? 8:37 in the morning, and that's iConnect time. Go get your technology fix on it. iConnect at the Micronesia Mall. Apples and Samsung goodies and gizmos and gadgets. Make your digital life complete with a quick trip to iConnect at the Micronesia Mall.
If you own a Toyota, please listen to this. It could help you avoid injury, maybe save your life. The Takata airbags installed in certain Toyotas can explode and shoot out sharp metal fragments at people inside the vehicle. You don't need to be in a collision. They could explode any time. In the U.S., these airbags have caused 26 deaths. There's been a worldwide recall of Takata airbags, and most have had the faulty parts replaced. But here in Guam, there are still over 3,000 Toyotas on the road with potentially lethal airbags, and yours could be one of them. So please, take your Toyota to Atkins Grow, even if you didn't buy it from us, and get the inflator replaced. It costs you nothing, it takes just about an hour, and it could save a life, yours or someone you love. The AK song says we're here for life. That's never been more true.
At Atkins Grow, we're here for life.
20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning to take a last look at the traffic gizmo. At least, I don't know, I maybe should keep an eye on this thing for a little bit longer to see if when things are going to start clearing up. We've had issues, obviously, up in the uptown, Upper Tumon area as a result of that accident early this morning over at Nissan. Near as I can tell, we still got some closures. Expect it to be bad. Northbound traffic headed south southbound traffic through that area is going to be just ugly all day long. Accident, and I got another one. I've got somebody saying again an accident happening right now on my WhatsApp. Let me get through this and I'll take a look at some pictures and see what I can post for you. Anyway, so watch out for traffic there. Not hearing anything else but intersection traffic that might be slowing you down now. But I'm getting a blurb in here from somebody that says we've got another one working right now. So let me take a look at that while the commercial's playing. Be right back.
Chili's 2 for $25 is back. Start with an appetizer to share. Then choose 2 entrees like our mouth-watering Old Timer with cheeseburger or the Cajun chicken pasta, grilled chicken with penne and Alfredo sauce, and chili spices. Feeling extra? Upgrade to a personal fajita or our famous half-rack ribs. Bring a friend or a date to Chili's and get 2 entrees for $25. Located on the 2nd floor of Tumon Sands Plaza. Chili's. More life happens here.
At the mall, as you enjoy your shopping, dining, or entertainment, you could also win 3 great cars from Atkins Kroll and thousands of prizes in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game. Present your mall receipts and have a chance to win the renowned performance Chevrolet Camaro, the unapologetic rugged Toyota 4Runner, or the head-turning Lexus ES350 Luxury. Getaways to Manila, courtesy of Philippine Airlines, plus prizes from Foot Locker and Burger King. The more you shop, the more chance to win in Micronesia Mall's Cars, Prizes, and Getaways game.
Well, this is an interesting wrinkle. Now, I can't independently verify this because apparently it's part of the ongoing investigation, and it's a line from a WhatsApp that is moving around. Says that crazy woman hit the car, split the scene. She left her front bumper behind with the license plate, and then went home. Police called her at her house and asked if she was involved in an accident. All she said was, "Yes, I was. I feel sorry for those people." So is it possible that the accident that Mana, she went running this morning and was right by there, is it possible that it wasn't that lone vehicle that hit something? Is it possible that hit something else as a result of being hit themselves by somebody that split the scene and there was enough damage on the roadway and an extra bumper with a license plate on it? Wow. Yes, I don't know. Kind of tricky. The news and information is going to trickle in on this as we get closer and closer to the conclusion of the investigation that, like I said, has been causing traffic nightmares. Carmageddon, as I like to call it, for people from the north end of town that need to find their way into the southern end of town or through the central part of the island. Just absolutely tricky getting through the area where Nissan is, near as I can tell in Fusion, and that area is still closed off to traffic. They're routing everybody down to route down Santos Hill into Tumon. So, like it or not, everybody's going on tour of the tourist district to see what's going on down there. Looks like, other intersection traffic. And I'm looking at traffic. Wow, Route 8. What's going on Route 8? This is just pumping in right now. Southbound from about where the subway is. I've got slower than normal traffic right up until you get to the intersection over on Cars Plus. Yeah. All right, I see what's going on. Just a tough morning for everybody. What can I say? 843-888-8255, 888-TALK is the telephone number around here in these parts. And Mark Cruz, Tuan, online this morning, says Guam boy C.J. Uggan is on Guam for Cope North. He's an F-16, F-15 Eagle pilot and in town for the exercises. That's nice. Pam says, due to the traffic situation, I couldn't drop off my Pugo. Oh, that's okay. I got some now. It'll be all right. Roland Torres, responding to Jess, says, remember, minimum wage increase of 50 cents is not just $20 a week. Social Security and Medicare employers' contributions will also increase as a result. And those are just more costs that are going to get passed along. Joey Toba is online. Sheila Bikel is there. Roland Torres. And Lady D hanging out. Dave Duane is online on the Facebook Live. 888-8255 is the telephone number. And if you're going to WhatsApp me, send me pictures of your can. 988-5874. Or funny memes. Anytime you got any funny memes, I'd love to get those things as well. 988-5874. So what do we get to go in the next, 20 minutes, 15 minutes before it gets to be the top of the hour? Well, there's a few things that have caught my eye. I do the Guam Alert on Google, which means anytime Guam is mentioned in a story, I get to hear about it. I get to hear about what it is that people are looking at and what people are talking about Guam that isn't necessarily covered by media in Guam. Now, there's a great story on thedrive.com, and it talks about a proposed facility that they want to build here on Guam. You might know a thing or two about long-range bombers, things like that, and the B-52s that we have just always had on Guam. It's just been bomber territory since the end of the Second World War. How do you think it ended? It was a bomber left off from Tinian with a bomb. A couple of bombs.
Enola Gay.
Yeah. God, I was watching that. There's a documentary on Netflix on that, and I can't get enough of it. Terrible, the devastation that those bombs wreaked and the havoc. And never mind the atomic bombs that got bombed, the incendiary bombs that were dropped, the Doolittle raids, and basically looking at houses made of wood and paper and turning huge swaths of cities into just burning infernos. Just a sheer number of people that died in those raids, and the fighting continued. Just amazing. But this bomber territory, and has been for a long time, and a proposed facility would drastically cut down the time required to arm bombers on Guam. Now, I don't have the pictures of this to show you. But it is interesting about a new kind of delivery system. And if you remember the olden days in the Vietnam War, where we'd have these caravans of trucks driving down the road, and they were just loaded, containers, pallets of bombs.
Munitions.
Yeah, munitions. They go from the Naval Mag all the way up to Anderson Air Force Base, get loaded, and millions of bombs that went through here back in the day. Well, they don't do it like that anymore. They've got a gizmo, and it looks like it's a round Rubik's cube, if you will. It's like a loader on a gun, on a pistol, right?
Yeah.
Automatic loader, and it goes in, and there's rounds. There are bombs, and nuclear ones, as a matter of fact, in this round circular thing. The story goes that during any major conflict in the Pacific region involving the United States, Anderson Air Force Base on Guam would serve as a major hub for U.S. air operations, including acting as a valuable staging locations for B-2s, B-52s, and B-1s. Amid a growing emphasis on security concerns in the Pacific in general, the Air Force wants to rectify something of a glaring gap in Anderson's infrastructure. There's a thing called a common rotary launcher. It's exactly that thing I'm talking about. I just try to imagine, the only way I can describe it is it looks like what's that part of the gun? The revolver, right?
Where the Gatling gun,
where the bullet, like that, like a little Gatling gun. And so it turns and will drop a bomb and turn again and drop another bomb and turn again and drop another. Very, very cool technology. These common rotary launchers, but we don't have a facility here on Guam for them to employ that thing. So it means that if they're going to load bombs the traditional way, figure 11 hours to fill up an aircraft. If they're going to use these common rotary loaders, about 2 hours.
Nice.
And so that's, can you imagine in a shooting war, if it came to bullets, how valuable those additional 9 hours are going to be for the other ships in the fleet and for all of the other bomb loaders. So apparently in one of the conversations in the budget for the military for Guam is a conversation about building one of these things up at Anderson Air Force Base, an entire facility that would be dedicated to the CRLs and the equipment they need to put these things in. And there's some really groovy pictures. I wish like I said, show them up to you on the screen about them using these devices. And back in the old days, you got a guy and he's got a thing and it's a lifter. And now it's all done with handhelds. They got the little remote control gizmos that will take the thing, slide it underneath the airplane, and then it will lift it up into the bomb bays. Fascinating conversation, and I'd love to say it's new technology, but apparently it's been out for a long time. They just haven't gotten around to doing it on Guam, but they will. And they will probably do it under the guidance of a new general that we're apparently getting. Former Thunderbird has been tapped to lead the Air Force's 36th Wing of Guam. Now, this is not from kind of local media. It's in Stars and Stripes. Air Force Brigadier General Jeremy Sloan has been selected to become the next commander of the 36th Wing at Anderson Air Force Base. It is composed of 5 groups, 17 squadrons, blah, 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 blah. Anderson, home to more than 7,900 military and civilian personnel, and is the most forward sovereign U.S. air base in the region. Guam is a U.S. territory. Thanks very much for the nod. And it didn't say anything about having a Popeyes up there either. I think that's a glaring omission in the write-up on this story. Sloan graduated from the Air Force Academy in 1992, got a bachelor's degree in engineering. His Air Force biography goes on to say he's held a variety of F-16 flying assignments, including the ops officer and F-16 instructor pilot for the Thunderbirds.
I wonder if he has a cool call sign.
Gotta find out.
We gotta find out what his call sign is. What's his name?
Sloan. Jeremy Sloan is the fellow's name, right? Did I get that? Am I reading that right? Yeah. General Jeremy Sloan. All right, can you Google that? You're going to Google that, right? See if the guy's got a cool nickname that we can a tag that we can get him on. Anyway, he served as commander of the 388th Operation Support Squadron, Hill Air Force Base, Utah, commander of the 8th Fighter Wing in South Korea. This guy's been haunting the Pacific for a long, long time. If he's been a part of the Thunderbirds in 2004 to 2007, it is possible. Didn't we have a Thunderbirds flight? Didn't we have a display on Guam in about 2004?
I believe they did an air show, I believe, for Anderson Air Force Base.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible that this guy was on. God, there's a picture of him. It's possible I might have met him in an interview that we did once upon a time for one of those air shows. Small world, and it gets even smaller around here. What's the time? 10 away from the top of the hour. 888-8255-888-TALK. So those are interesting stories. And this is the rest of the story that I wanted to get to when we were supposed to be talking about sports a little bit earlier. The Hong Kong thing ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. They're out of, quote, an abundance of caution, no to the Hong Kong men's FIBA basketball team to come out here and play against the Guam team. However, now that that's been said and it has officially been canceled, it makes the way clear for them to bring in the guys from New Zealand. And so they're trying to make kind of a big deal about this in some of the media. Bank of Guam men's basketball team has enjoyed a steady rise in FIBA world rankings since going undefeated in the FIBA pre-qualifier in 2019 and earning back-to-back gold medals at the quadrennial Pacific Games. While Hong Kong is out, the New Zealand game is still on the table and exciting prospects for hoops fans around the island. The match, which will be is Sunday at the Calvo Fieldhouse, is guaranteed to be a high-quality, big-caliber game with Guam fielding its best and the most talented guys against a nation that has 4.2 million people that it can pull from. Team Guam is now 100% focused on playing New Zealand on Sunday, said E.J. Calvo. We are excited to take the court at the highest level in Guam's level game in Guam's history. Tickets $20. Get them at Foodies. They're going fast. And it says if you are a fan of basketball, you need to get in. Their doors will open at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Attendees can expect food trucks, concessions, and vendors, and an exciting live sports experience. So if you like basketball, I guess that's the big deal that you're supposed to see. Did get this from a listener, the alert viewer of the program. That is artwork of Route 8. Can you tell which direction that is, Joe?
Looks like it's heading southbound.
All right, southbound. Yeah. So a little bit of a snag in that area a little bit earlier that the traffic gizmo was reporting. I'll try to keep an eye on the traffic gizmo to see when things are going to start clearing up. Yeah, it ain't happening. Oh my God! Just looking at the traffic gizmo right now, it is suck red just about everywhere. Marine Corps Drive at the intersection over at Harmon Loop is the one over at Payless. That intersection?
Yeah.
Busy right now. And in fact, traffic on that road headed south. Very busy. Marine Corps Drive. Now, you said past that from where the Payless is, the drugstore, that intersection. Continuing south, slow to no-go, all the way to the intersection there over by the new farmers market. And in fact, traffic from Farmers Market is moving slow, and you think you might be able to just kind of run across the roadway and make yourself over to the gas station. Ain't gonna happen. Virtually all of Route 16 is in shutdown mode in both directions, from the Micronesia Mall clear back to McDonald's, and then Marine Corps Drive, the intersection from, as I said, from the Farmers Market all the way over to the Jollibee intersection, slow to no go. Watch out for it. If you're on Route 3, you know what? It might actually be, might actually be better if you just turn around and head towards the other side. Go by Potts Junction if you want to head south. You might have to do that.
Take the long way.
Because it's bad. It is bad there. I'm getting word here. Hamburger Highway, forget about it. Like I said, Airport Road is in suck mode. This might be the worst traffic I've seen on Guam ever. One major accident over by Nissan there, and that has got everything shuttered. And I'm looking at traffic now, again, going down Santos Hill. That's the diversion. If you're there, that's what you're shooting for, is to go down Santos Hill towards the Westin. But traffic down there now is, I'm seeing the traffic gizmo reporting that it is slow to no-go all the way down the hill. When you do finally make it to the intersection over at the Westin, guess what? That's moving slow. If they had somebody there before, they're gone, because it's lousy all the way until you get to right around the Fiesta is where things are going to open up. So if you're stuck in traffic, guys, I don't know what to tell you. There's not a whole lot by way of cops that we can put at every one of these major intersections that I'm talking about here. So you're kind of on your own. Other traffic in other parts of the island seem to be working okay. Like I said, a little bit of traffic dusting up over by Cars Plus and the usual traffic by Harvest and the car line that they put together there. But it's terrible getting out of the north end of town. That whole area, it's that square, Route 16, and then over to 27, back over to Marine Corps Drive. It's that one square area, which is just absolutely ugly. 8:55 in the morning. Obviously, they have not concluded the investigation that is taking place on Marine Corps Drive. Alternate routes are suggested, but from the looks of it, all of the alternate routes at this time are full. And even the little peekaboo streets, the hamburger highways, that little roadway across from St. John's coming out of the old Chuck Steakhouse, those roadways are also running busy. Everybody thinks that they found a shortcut, and you didn't. you found another place to wait. And this, my friends, it will lead me into another revolving cylinder, Ray. That's the word I'm looking for, cylinder. I don't have a revolver. I'm a clip guy, right? But anyway, so this will bring me into another section of the program that we like to refer to as, hey, when are we going to get around to building new roads on Guam? Is it me, or can we really, honest to God, take a look at some of the problems that we have? You get to be Marine Corps Drive, anywhere from Bank Pacific over to Auto Spot, right? If there's an accident anywhere along that 1.5 mile stretch of roadway, it will mess up traffic in both directions because there's literally nowhere else to go. There is no way that you can get off that main part of Marine Corps Drive and say, find some relief on Route 8. It doesn't happen. Why is that? How come is it there's only one way to get to Route 8? And it's from Marine Corps Drive over there. Why aren't there more ways that we can punch through? And if you are a politician, if you're a political wannabe, if you want to be the king of the Republican Party, come up with a plan. Come up with a plan to identify a couple of places where we might be able to get through the steep grade of the cliffside and go up. Take a look at some of the maps, the Google Maps that are out there, maybe on your iPhone, and zoom in on places where we might be able to make that connection between a road, the boondocks, and another one of the major roads that we have here. I talk about it incessantly whenever it comes up. And we were talking about it just the other day. When it gets to be Carmageddon, when they do that construction on Challenge San Antonio, people are going to be looking for another way to get out of that street. And wouldn't it be great if there were more ways to go from Challenge San Antonio over to Hospital Road, Camacho Road, right? Wouldn't it be great if there were a couple of different ways to get through there as opposed to Farrenhold? Wouldn't it be great if there were ways that you could get from Challenge San Antonio to Epau Road behind the 76 Circle K? Is there a way to get from there? You just pass. I'm passing by the parking lot, the back parking lot over at AK. Wouldn't it be awesome if there was a way that I could punch my way into that particular roadway? Bob Kelly's on the line. This is where we reminisce about a plan that they actually had years ago to be able to punch in from Marine Corps Drive onto what is either Magahaga Highway or directly onto Route 8. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Yeah, well, what was be the good one is the one that's on the inside, so it's limited access, and you've got a straight shot all the way down to Barragata by the post office.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't want to do that.
That 2-lane road.
Yeah.
Even though it's only 2 lanes, it'd be nice to expand it to 4. But if you have no businesses on it, that's a straight and no intersections except at each end and maybe one in the middle. It's a straight shot all the way through then.
Well, when they did all of the additional work and closed off big chunks of the old NAS and started demolishing homes, I think they were thinking that those 2 ways onto Teedzon were going to be enough. The one that takes you on the Magahaga Highway from Cars Plus, and then the other one that punches in over by the Dragon Restaurant. But there needs to be more. There need to be more ways to get onto that because now Teedzon is going to be a great throughway for the island to be able to get from 8 to 1 and 1 to 8. But I don't know who was in charge of the planning for that, but they did a real disservice by closing as much of those roads as they did.
If they reopen that road and pave it and expand it, it's a right-of-way, and that takes care of that, and then punch through to the Magahaga Highway from where the Pizza Hut used to be. I always called Pizza Hut, but they've disappeared there.
Yep.
But straight up that road.
Gravity wouldn't kill you there. Hey, I got to break. Fox News is live is on right now, so I'm going to talk to you about this later. You can call in the next hour if you like. See you soon. That's Bob Kelly. We're KUSG. I got you. This is The Point.
The Trump administration offered a deal to the founder of WikiLeaks. Fox's Jaron Halpern has more live in Washington.
Attorneys for WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange say President Trump offered a pardon if Assange said Russia was not behind the hack of Democratic emails. Arguing at a preliminary hearing in Britain as part of an extradition process, Assange's lawyer said in 2017, then Congressman Dana Rohrabacher made that offer on instructions from President Trump. The White House denies the claim. Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham says President Trump barely knows the ex-congressman, adding the allegation is a complete fabrication and a total lie. Lisa.
Jared, a judge has found the federal government in contempt after 5 young migrants who were seeking to remain in the country under a program for abused children were deported. The Democratic presidential candidates hit the debate stage in Las Vegas in a few hours, and one candidate will join them for the first time. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal is there live.
Lisa, heading into Mike Bloomberg's first debate, the other Democratic candidates have been heavily focused on him. A new Joe Biden ad mocks a new Bloomberg ad. Bernie Sanders said Bloomberg's past means he cannot generate the enthusiasm needed to rally Democrats. And others who didn't qualify said the DNC rule changes that allowed Bloomberg to debate aren't fair. I caught up with DNC Chairman Tom Perez at a union rally today.
If you look back at every other Democratic primary at this point, the criteria that got you on the debate stage was polling.
He said he's heard accusations that Bloomberg is buying his way onto the debate stage and said if people feel that way, they can voice their concerns by voting. Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. Wall Street at the close. Stocks ending the day higher, pushing the S&P and NASDAQ to record highs again. Tech stocks led the way. The Dow added 115 points. The NASDAQ rose 84. The S&P up 15. America is listening to Fox News.
GRMC's cardiology department treats most complex heart problems. In our catheterization lab, cardiologists use imaging equipment to treat clogged arteries that can cause heart attacks or heart failure. We perform balloon angioplasty, stenting, and other life-saving cardiac procedures. If you suffer from a heart condition, have your provider refer you to GRMC's cardiology clinic at 645-5500. GRMC, where patients are partners.
On Saturday, March 14, join Bank of Guam for the EFIT Run 2K 5K to benefit Guam Cancer Care. Enjoy a morning run beginning and ending at Chamorro Village in Hagåtña. Showtime is 5 a.m. and go time is 6 a.m. This is a bring-your-own water bottle event. And don't forget, packet pickup will take place on the Thursday and Friday before the run. Register at any BOG Guam branch or on eventbrite.com. Saturday, March 14th, the EFIT Run 2K 5K. Bank of Guam, member FDIC.
A warning from the governor of Mississippi after dangerous flooding in Jackson. The worst is not over.
Governor Tate Reeves gave an optimistic outlook on flooding in the state. High water is dropping below flood stage, but
we do not expect that the water level will drop below 33 feet until Friday.
Governor Reeves says thankfully they know of no deaths or serious injuries from the rains, but for now they're asking residents to stay out of their flooded houses.
We don't want individuals going into their home and putting themselves in harm's way.
The governor says damage assessments will be critical to meeting federal standards for aid to assist in their recovery. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A settlement approved in a discrimination lawsuit against Motel 6. The $10 million class action suit claimed Motel 6 employees in Phoenix shared the whereabouts and private information of its guests with immigration officials who later arrested some of them. Motel 6 has denied any wrongdoing. NASCAR driver Ryan Newman walked out of a Florida hospital today holding the hands of his children, just days after he was involved in a horrible crash at the Daytona 500.
He went from serious critical to walking out of the hospital because of the care he got, and also a strong young man. So, you know, and he got support from family and from friends and from us, and I think the entire nation was praying for him.
Dr. Danny Yazarovich with Halifax Medical Center. Prince Harry and wife Meghan may need to do some rebranding. The couple announced last month they wanted to step back from royal life, and with that, they may lose that royal title. After April 1st, they will no longer have an office in Buckingham Palace. A royal insider says a decision on their using their Sussex royal label would be announced when they announce their new nonprofit organization. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Hafaday, Guam. We'd like to invite you to join us February 23 for the Guahan Festival of Hope with Franklin Graham at the Guam Football Association soccer field next to Dedido Sports Complex. Franklin Graham will be on Guam to share a life-changing message of God's love and hope for every one of us. This hope-filled event will also feature musical performances by Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Michael W. Smith. Tommy Coombs Band, and Dennis Agajanian. Don't miss this free once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Come join us for an afternoon of music and a life-changing message of God's love and hope on February 23 at the Guam Football Association soccer field, starting at 4:30 p.m. Gates open at 3:30 p.m. Admission is free. For additional information and updates, visit us and like our Facebook page at Guahan Festival of Hope. See you there. God bless you and God bless Guam.
If you own a Toyota, please listen to this. It could help you avoid injury, maybe save your life. The Takata airbags installed in certain Toyotas can explode and shoot out sharp metal fragments at people inside the vehicle. You don't need to be in a collision. They could explode any time. In the U.S., these airbags have caused 26 deaths. There's been a worldwide recall of Takata airbags, and most have had the faulty parts replaced. But here in Guam, there are still over 3,000 Toyotas on the road with potentially lethal airbags, and yours could be one of them. So please, take your Toyota to Atkins Crow, even if you didn't buy it from us, and get the inflator replaced. It costs you nothing. It takes just about an hour, and it could save a life, yours or someone you love. The AK song says we're here for life. That's never been more true.
At Atkins Crow, we're here for life.
It's 7 after 9 o'clock in the morning. It's the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point, and we are the one radio station that has got the capabilities of talking about road problems and then showing you pictures of them. This is a photograph that was taken from whose car is this? This is Senator Jim Moylan's car. If you're stuck in traffic right now, you're sharing the road somewhere in that long line with Senator Jim Moylan. Looks like he's trying to watching somebody trying to execute a turn, but as you can tell, we got all that traffic that's trying to come in from the north to the south that is just jam-packed. And virtually every roadway that I'm looking at here on the traffic gizmo is showing me the same woeful story. Anywhere on Route 3 headed to Marine Corps Drive, you're stuck. Once you get on Marine Corps Drive from not quite Sangsong, when you got when it's that intersection that takes you over to Payless on that side of Dededo.
Oh, Fatima Road?
Fatima, no, it's the other one.
Oh, the other Payless.
Yeah. Whatever, yeah. The northern one, by the old flea market. Okay, so the intersection by the old flea market, that's where the hell begins. And then the intersection where the new flea market is also really ugly. And traffic in both directions trying to move across that street from 27A onto the other side of 27A at that Fatima Mobile. That's looking ugly right now. And then you've got, like I said, 1 and 3. It's going to be like that forever. Route 16, both directions from Jollibee all the way down to McDonald's. That's the new hamburger highway, by the way. It's from Jollibee down to McDonald's. I've got traffic working in both directions there. It will clear up to a degree after you pass Santos Hill, but that's where the accident is. So they're going to divert you down into Tumon, and as I said, it's just making traffic in Tumon worse because you're going down that hill, you make that left-hand turn over at the Weston, and then you're going southbound in Tumon. And guess what? It's going to be ugly. What did I say? Right up to about where the Fiesta is? Yeah, that's where it'll start to open up a little bit, and you'll be able to take advantage of some of the northern roads. Frankly, I'm surprised at the intersection of where JFK is and Kmart. I'm surprised that upbound traffic is not as bad as it should be. It's just awful. I got a note from my friend Agnes, my beautiful friend Agnes, and she says she's been stuck in traffic now for an hour and a half. Wow, right?
That's worse than LA traffic.
But here's the good side. So my buddy, my John Sevilla is in the studio she's driving a Toyota.
Oh, good.
She's got it's what big black Toyota
Tundra?
It's got to be a Tundra.
Okay.
Whatever is the biggest one on the lot, that's the one she's got.
Oh boy.
And
okay.
So here's the if traffic gets really bad, you can lay down in the back of that.
Yes.
You just stretch the all the way back, and you're going to enjoy. If you got to get stuck in traffic, be stuck in a Toyota, because it's got great entertainment systems. I mean, the thing practically has television, but it's got good all of the things that you need to enjoy. It's got air conditioning, solid radio, and a nice ride. And the thing is, you're up about 25 feet higher than anybody else on the road. You're up there in the thinner air. You can see better what's going on, and maybe that's helpful. I don't know. If I could see what was going on, I think it'd just be more.
stuck in comfort.
Yeah, exactly. So there's the point: comfort and safety.
Yes.
And yeah, maybe one of these days we'll do some off-roading in that car. Yeah, right. 10 after 9 o'clock in the morning. My very close friend and personal friend John Seville is in the studio. We'll tell you why he's here, and it's a matter of safety for all of the drivers of Guam. So we'll make that pretty important. But first, I got to remind you that portions of the Ray Gibson Show are being brought to you by American President Lines, APL. That's a global presence and a local home, and the team over at Denny's, where they've got this great menu, and they've got soups. Today's Thursday.
Yes.
Oxtail.
Oh.
Oxtail soup over at Denny's, if you can get to it. So just
go early.
Dude, I'm just looking at the traffic, and it doesn't look like they're getting any closer to the end of the investigation. This might be, if you can get off the road, I'd start happy hour now. Right? To hell with it. I tried to start today. I tried to get a start on Thursday, and there was traffic, and it was bad, and I'd already lost an hour and a half being stuck in one road. Screw it. I'm not going to work today. Just find a way, hang a Yui somewhere. Oh, God, and that's not a good place to hang Yui because it's all concrete, dividers there. So, so if you can, find a way out of that. And start the weekend now. Start the weekend. Just, I'm not going to work today. I'm going to call in sick tomorrow. And we just start this one of the last weekends of the month starting today because traffic messed you up. It's 9:11 in the morning. I'll be right back.
Any speaker, anytime. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
12 after 9 o'clock in the morning, 888-825-5880-TALK. Now my traffic gizmo is a little bit more sophisticated because of some of the things that I can see that maybe you can't. But I would recommend, and again, if you're in a Toyota, John, good morning. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. If you're in a Toyota, you've got a connection between an Android phone and an iPhone. Mm-hmm. Either Bluetooth it, or I like to use my wired version in my car.
Wire, okay.
Yeah. So you got the wire. Almost every major phone has got some kind of an app.
Yes.
That you can use to look at the map. And some of what I'm telling you right now, having to do with the traffic in and out of Central Guam and the problems that you have, are easily viewed on my preference when I'm driving. Here at the radio station it's different, but when I'm driving, Google Maps. So load that up on the phone, and virtually every car that you guys sell over there has got the new sophisticated entertainment systems.
Yes.
So you got the, what is it, Apple
CarPlay on some of them.
Yeah.
Android Play as well, I think.
The Auto, Android Auto or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're apps that are actually on the car, and inside those apps, I mean, they know what's on your phone. So if they know that you've got Google Maps on your phone, then you'll get a Google Maps icon on your smart radios in the cars.
Right.
You press that, and it will give you a map.
Right.
On the map, it'll show you everything that you need to see, including all of these traffic hotspots. Now, sophisticated technology here in the States, because it goes in both directions. They're all addressable, and if you've got a Google account, you can actually go in and update traffic situations. So you can say that there's an accident on Marine Corps Drive by Infusion, and it's got traffic all messed up, and that will show along with the redness on the map, so what's going on. Very, very cool technology, and it's available to you right now. What the heck? You're stuck in traffic. You might as well download it and install it now. And if you don't understand how it works, the next time you take the car in for service, ask the guy. He said, it's got this thing. When I plug the phone into it, I get this icon on the screen. What does that mean? And it's a whole other world of information and technology at your fingertips. 9:14 in the morning. And one of the other things that we can do on this radio station, John, is we can play videos. And there's a video that I was sent that will display to the viewers the importance of getting the airbags done. Is that's enough of a setup for this, right?
Oh yeah, very, very, very important. We got to get these things done. It's about your safety.
Yeah, well, this is the second time you've come in and talked about it. I was hoping we would have been able to reach everybody and have them go in and get their airbags done.
Well, we're almost there. What the only people that we have not reached out to are the people who have bought from individuals, and normally what I would recommend is, for anybody, for that matter, if you do purchase a vehicle from an individual, for instance, I think it's important, well, it is very important that you call the dealership who sells and services those vehicles, those makes and models.
Find out about recalls.
Right, and also update the information so that way, if there are any recalls in the future, you will be contacted directly as opposed to contacting the old owner, which will probably just throw those letters away and
know
they,
anything
I
about
don't
it.
care, right?
I thought it was John wishing me happy birthday again. So
That's right. That's right.
didn't bother opening the envelope. I got you. 9:15. So there's the setup on this, but here's a video dramatization from Toyota on the importance of getting these safety features taken care of, including the Takata airbags. It's very dramatic. Oh, that's frightening. Yeah, that's an animation here of what happens when one of these airbags go off and the shrapnel that can come out of them, and that's why it is vitally important that the guys over at AK, and we'll say this because it affects a lot of different makes and models of cars. Regardless of what kind of car you're driving, make sure that you've made contact with your dealers for whatever automobile it is, and make sure that they've replaced any defective airbags.
Correct. Yes. So it's very, very important and vital to the safety of our customers that if you do own a early model Corolla, Lexus, some Lexuses, or you're not even sure, just give us a call at 646-1886 and ask to be transferred to our service department, and just make sure that you have your information in front of you, like your VIN number at least and stuff.
Yeah, that way they can look it up in the computers and say, all right, we've seen this car already, don't worry about it.
Right,
or we have not seen this car, and let's get scheduled right now.
Yes, yes. And don't forget, we also give out the free oil changes if your vehicle is part of that airbag recall and it's not been done yet.
Yeah, well, you can also get an airplane ride.
Yeah.
there are a lot of benefits to going through this process.
That's right.
Get it changed out. We'll do an oil change while we're underneath the hood, and while you're waiting out, fill out some entry forms here from among the people that are following these important instructions.
Yes.
There's going to be a drawing later on, and somebody's going to the Philippines.
To the Philippines.
Where you can buy Korean spam. in Taguig, you can buy Korean spam.
Yes.
Talaga.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. Now, there's a couple of other things going on over at and let me just for people that are listening, going, well, I don't know if I'm going to have time. It's only an hour, and it's an hour that could save your life or save the passenger's life with the airbags going off. And you're going, well, what if I'm not in an accident? There's something, as Ernie said, about the humidity around here, salt air, and it could destabilize the component, one of the components in the airbag system, causing it to discharge, regardless of whether there's an accident or not.
Yes. Yes. So it's very, very important that we do that. I mean, again, safety is the number one concern here. And that's one of the reasons, that's the only reason why we want you to bring it in. If you're not sure, again, just bring it in anyways, or just give us a call.
Yeah, the VIN number is all it's going to take to get things started on that. Getting word here from somebody that actually lives on the roadway. Hamburger Highway is moving. Maybe not as fast as you'd like it to, but traffic through there is moving. I'll get that confirmed with the traffic gizmo in just a second. We've got a couple of different conversations going on here. Now, the other thing is you can go, like my friend Agnes, and go and check out some great deals that you've got going on at AK right now.
Yes, we just started our 72-hour sale. It started at 8 a.m. this morning, and it ends on Saturday. So now's the time.
Hurry up, go get yourself in, and this will automatically have a brand new airbag in it, so you don't have to worry. You won't have to worry about that recall or any of those particular situations. Now, I was talking about my friend Agnes and her big high riding Tundra. What you got? You got any deals on those in this?
We do. We actually do. So it's 2020, right? And so it's all about go wing places for us. And we do have Tundra starting at around 49,000, and that is a
loaded one, right?
You get a loaded Tundra. So I'm talking about 4-wheel drive. I'm talking about the Crew Max, which is the one with a big back seat. It's like sitting in your couch, right? And we also have Tacoma starting at 26,999. We have Corollas starting at 20,999.
That's Guam's car.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Very, very, very good vehicle. I mean, these things are so reliable that they just, I don't know. They will outlive everybody.
Makes the salespeople crazy. Literally, the Toyotas will run forever.
Yes.
Now, a friend of mine just bought one of these, and she's raving about it. Brand new RAV4.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Loaded with safety features, blind spot monitor, rear cross traffic alert. I mean, it's got the works.
There's a kind of technology. I'm pretty sure that Toyotas have them. The people got to park kind of at an angle at next to the Cathedral Basilica. Yeah, and sometimes there'll be a van that's parked next to you, and you can't see. Because you're at an angle, there's a van kind of blocking you, and you can't see past it. So when you put the car in reverse, it begins to sense for oncoming traffic.
Yes. That's
you have that.
That's the rear cross traffic alert, actually. So when you put the vehicle on reverse, for instance, and most vehicles now have like the backup camera, right? So you see it. So the way the rear cross traffic alert works is even before they are visible in your backup camera, it already warns you that something is coming. So if there's like, let's say, a bicyclist or a vehicle coming up.
It's the stupidest way to make parking spaces here on Guam. and naturally, we're going for it with, vim and vigor. Over by the cathedral on both sides of Skinner Plaza and the museum area, we've got cars that are parking, perpendicular to the sidewalk. Like I said, that's the dumbest way to do things. But somebody thought it would be brilliant, so that's what we're stuck with. And now they're one-way streets. But the problem is if depending on what ride you've got, as you pull out, as you reverse out of these spots, you can't see whether there's traffic already on the road. As a result, we get a lot of fender benders. But if you're driving a Toyota, this particular one that we're talking about, it will warn you that that's not the case. That whether there's cars there or not. 922. Now the other thing here, and one of the lessons that I learned early as a buyer of automobiles was when you can get the demo unit.
Yes,
get a demo, because there's guys, bosses in the shop. The CFO and the CEO and the general manager. They all get to drive different cars because they're boss guys. And so trust me, they're probably the best maintained vehicles on the lot because they're boss automobiles. But eventually they got to get sold, so you've got the executive/demo models that are for sale as well, right?
Yes. So for this 3 days, all the demo units are available at a fantastic price. We have Corollas, we have Tundras, we have BMWs, we have a few Lexuses as well, and some Chevys. Yeah. So very, very, very good prices this weekend only. It ends on Saturday, so come on down.
Right. 72-hour sale going on right now with the executive demos, and I'm looking to see if you've got something in there that's sporty. Because I'm a sporty guy. Joe, do me a favor, take a look at the thing I just typed for you. Sporty kind of cars that you've got there, and as I said, they're not used. They have been driven by the executives over at AK. Incidentally, there's a BMW in
convertible
there as well. Well, who's the boss that drove this around? This is 29 BMW 230i. Oh my God, this I love this car.
Are you talking about the red one, right? The red convertible, right?
Yeah.
Of course, it's driven by none other than Ernie.
Well, that was Ernie's ride.
Yes, that's Ernie's ride. So he's driving that convertible.
All right, sweet. And then, so who got to drive the 430i?
The 430i is being driven by our service director, Joel, and of course the Tundra. We have I believe an ES350 F Sport there, a red one. That thing is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well.
So get in. These are going to go fast.
They are.
Trust me, guys. These are going to go fast because they're the best of the best on the lot. Number one, they were used for the executives to drive around.
Yes.
And because the executives drove them generally more than a couple of miles, they cannot sell them as brand new cars. So you're going to get the best. Frankly, I'm surprised they're not sold on the side, because I know that happens in a lot of cases where we've got the executive thing. We heard Ray's looking for a BMW, so we'll call him before we advertise
Exactly,
him.
And that's what we've been doing since yesterday.
Yes, I'm frankly surprised that these things are being advertised the way they are. 72-hour sale started an hour and a half ago. Will go until Saturday. What time?
Saturday, 5 p.m.
Sounds like a good excuse for a party on the lot.
Absolutely.
Do you got anything going on?
Well, we can start a tailgate party.
Hey.
we do have food trucks coming.
We just had one
coming
on
on Saturday.
We just had. Okay.
Yeah, we did this morning, right?
Food trucks.
Yeah, so we have a food truck, I think, coming over this Saturday.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one yet. So we picked from several.
Gotcha. All right, listen, 9:25 in the morning. I know you've got to be on the other radio station,
Yes.
so I'm gonna cut you loose. Again, the deal is they're a great opportunity for you to get a free oil change. We can hook you up with an opportunity that could get you to Manila, which is a city in the Philippines.
Correct.
Some of you have heard of it. Many of you might have even actually been there. Stopovers, that kind of thing.
Yes.
But it's a growing, fun place. And if we do this right, we'll get there before Duterte makes you get a visa.
Right. And if you don't have an airbag recall, just buy a Toyota and get $1,000 voucher to United.
9:25 in the morning. Joe, we're going to take a real quick break here. iConnect time is 9:25. Run to the nearest iConnect and learn what you can about, saving money. You can save all kinds of dough. Mobile, internet, even push-to-talk plans. And if you've got an Apple but don't have every single accessory that goes along with that Apple, you'd be surprised how well they work with things like Apple Watches and iPhones. If you don't have an iPhone yet, go get one at iConnect at the Micronesia Mall.
With a new decade, there are new opportunities. And with new opportunities, there is always a chance to say yes. Yes to that car. Yes to that business venture. Yes to that new house. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes. Member FDIC.
Cocoa Coffee Company mugs are now here. Show pride for your island as you enjoy your delicious Circle K coffee. Each generously sized 16-ounce mug is etched with Guam-inspired images like Chief Gadao, Serena, Two Lovers, and many more. The Cocoa Coffee Company mug collection is available for a limited time only, so don't miss out. Get yours today and collect them all. Exclusively available at Circle K locations. A portion of the proceeds go toward the Cocoa Bird Recovery Program.
Oh, dude, sorry. Yeah, just real quick. Ask him if RAV4s from 1999 are included in this recall. Or, as the man said, just give him a call over at AK. Call the service department. Be prepared to give them your VIN number. That's where everything starts. If your VIN number is in the system and you're tagged for a recall, frankly, if you're the original buyer, you should already know about that. You should have already heard some kind of communications. As he said, most of the original buyers that got their cars from AK have been contacted. It's the guys that bought their car, I don't know, somebody was PCSing out of town, or you picked it up from Guam Grabs or something like that. It's possible that those cars might be on the recall list, but they don't know you're the new owner of the car. So get the VIN number and call, and we'll find out. Real Joe's running down the hall to make sure that we can answer that question on the RAV4s. What do we got here? Toyota car owners, take your car in for a checkup, AK, for urgent and for real. Dave Dueña says, eager to see the new 2021 Tundra models. Excuse me, the Nightshade Tundra. God, that sounds fun, doesn't it? And Dave Chargaloff with the old Guam tag. Toyota's a symbol of trust. Oh, he's also saying, people of Guam this election year, let's make an historic decision. Let's vote for Ray Gibson. So, Dave, I really appreciate you saying that. And I have not yet this hour talked about the Republican Party. And I figure what the heck, there's not a whole lot going on right now. My understanding is that things are starting to clear up. I'm getting word from inside our choice chat that things are clearing up on Marine Corps Drive, and that we can now drive in around that area. I don't have word yet from Mika on whether or not we're opening the infusion this very second, but I'll beep her and find out. What were you able to find out about the RAV4s?
He said only 04 and 05.
So 99s are in the clear. 04 and 05s
Yes.
Are the vehicles that they're looking for. All right, what have we got here? All roads are now open, according to Paul Tapau, and that word came just a few minutes ago. So if you are stuck in traffic, things ought to be opening up by now. Agnes, you're going to have to park that pretty ride of yours somewhere and go and start your Zumba day. And another question coming in from other media asking for Paul to confirm that it was a hit and run. That's secondary information that we're getting. Originally, it looked like the vehicle might have gotten off the roadway and smashed into the front of Tassi 17. And maybe it did, but maybe it did because it was hit by another vehicle. That's what they're trying to find out. The story, unconfirmed, unsubstantiated. It's floating around in social media. So I'm automatically biased to think that it might be fake news until I hear otherwise. But according to some social media sources on the WhatsApps, a lady hit the car and went home. in the process of hitting the car really hard, left the bumper with the license plate on it. And according to the story, the cops called her and said, "Were you in an accident this morning?" And she said, "Yeah, I feel bad for those people." And there will be another part of the investigation if all of that turns out to be true. Hit and run, I'm trying to remember what kind of violation that is and what kind of trouble you can get into for something like that. At some point, the information about who the driver was, what the condition of the driver was, extremely tired, extremely drunk, high on something, I don't know. But it's all part of the story and will eventually make its way out into the news. In the meantime, the entire island, seemingly the entire island, was touched by this accident one way or the other. Can you imagine? Virtually everyone that lives north of the Nissan up there, virtually everyone that lives north of that intersection affected by this. A lot of people might have gotten the word early, and we tried to give it out as often as we could, that there was this accident and you should take alternate routes, but it doesn't look like that applies to a lot of people. For many people, it was, I'll take my chances on Marine Corps Drive, then into Tumon, because I don't know about this Route 16. I don't know about this Route 8, and then all the way around on Marine Corps Drive just to get to GTA or someplace like that. So that was a hard time for a lot of people. Agnes reporting that she was stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. That's like stateside commute time. That's no. There is no reason you should be in any traffic on Guam for any longer than about a half hour. How long does it take to get from? Let's time this one of these days. Now, how long does it take to get from the front gate of Anderson Air Force Base all the way down to Bear Rock in Inarahan?
25 minutes, maybe 30.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you're doing a speed limit, if you're not stopping too much for
25,
intersections,
30.
it shouldn't take that long. Guam is not that big. It's 27 miles, 28, 29 miles, top to bottom, right? Where she's wide, it's 8 miles. Where she's narrow, the waist, the Tion of the island, is only 4 miles across. How is it possible that we work ourselves into a situation where we're stuck in traffic for an hour and a half because 4 lanes of southbound traffic are closed? And part of the answer is there's a lot of cars here. There's a lot of drivers here. And we don't have as many roads as I think we should have. I don't think there's enough road mileage in this town to accommodate the number of cars that we have and the number of drivers, and neither one is getting smaller. I think when we're all done with the census, when we're all done with the count of the number of people that live here, we're going to find that there's probably 1 car for every man, woman, and child on Guam. And at drive time, they're all on the road. And we're not making new roads. At the end of the day, I think that's my biggest problem here is when was the last time we built a brand new routed road? And some people, quick to be over admiring of the previous administration will say, but Ray, sorry. As the camera should follow me when I do that. But Ray, stand up, chest out. We built Hamburger Highway. No, you didn't. Take credit for paving Hamburger Highway, because that's all you did. The road was already there. We already had that. We already had that challenge. It was, and the people that know the guy that it's named after, because it's named after a guy.
Oh, Hamburger.
No, his name was not Hamburger.
Oh.
There's a guy, Polino Pangolinin, I can't remember. Somebody will tell me.
His name was Hamburger?
No, stand by. This is the most important news that I'm about to deliver here. The infusion by Nissan is now open. Once again, just got the message here. We are open. The Eagle has landed.
The island stood still there. Right?
Just for a second. Wondering, that's the big question. Great, the roads are open, but is infusion open? That's I must know. Huh? It's been a while. What's the get there? What's the big deal? I know it's coffee. I know it's the coffee, but there are pastries and stuff they've got, right?
I like the blueberry muffins, and yesterday I got a double shot coffee, and it was amazing.
Gotcha. Double shot of coffee.
Single's not enough for me.
No, I hear you. I'm with you. Egg sandwich. Egg salad sandwich. I was there for the testing of the egg salad sandwiches.
Even their Cajun chicken sandwiches.
So, it's just going far too long. I'm just doing it for fun now. But the egg salad sandwiches, also bomb. But you know what makes it bomb is the bread.
Yes.
It's the bread. And I'm not going to tell you what the secret recipe is on that. But the egg salad sandwich and the tuna sandwiches, that's bomb. And if you're really nice, actually, they'll do it for anybody. But if you're nice, you say, hey, can you toast this up a little bit?
Oh,
and they'll take it in the back and get it all done. So the infusion is open. Life is now returned to normal. 9:35 in the morning. What was I going into? The roads. We got new roads here, and everybody says, but Hamburger Highway already existed. All they did was pave it. Technically, it is not a new road. But we need more like it, is my point. We need to get more roads like that connect up the major arteries with each other. There should be more ways for us to be able to get, even more multiple ways to go from Marine Corps Drive down one side of the island and Route 15, back road. Wouldn't it be great? Raise your hand if you remember when there was only two ways in. When the only way in was over at at Anderson Air Force Base, back 8, and then you could punch in over at Laddie Heights. And then a little bit further north, and then they finally made the connection between the front of Paris Acres, and Route 15.
Yeah, that's a cool cut road there.
Right, isn't it? It never existed before. I took my daughter down that road. We were looking for something, and she said, "Daddy, what was here before?" Honey, nothing was here before. So, nothing? There wasn't even farm there. It was just boondocks. And somebody decided that would be a good place to cut in. It used to be a great makeout spot, I heard. But anyway, so we need more of those kinds of things where you can get from one side of the road to the other, one side of the island to the other. You go from the eastern into the middle to the west side. Wouldn't that be great? Or to the eastern side of the island. Just all these different roads. And people are going to say, well, a lot of that's private property. A lot of that's going to cost money to pave, to take a look at it. We'll send the guys out and they can do the telescopic deals. There's a word for that.
Surveying?
That's it. It's important to have a producer that knows the words that you don't. It's going to be one of those things. It'll be the joke. Yeah, between Joe and I, we know everything. And if I don't know it, Joe does. But anyway, so surveying efforts and pavement efforts, and then we got to put sidewalks and lights, and the cost of being able to do that is astronomical. But what do we pay taxes for, guys? There's somebody ought to run on that platform, and I promise you that if I move through with what the Republican Party, then that's one of the things that I will endeavor to pursue, because all of the things that I want to shut down in the government of Guam ought to give us ample money to take care of the roads that we have and to build new roads. We don't need to be doing as much traveling. We don't need to be making investments into street art in front of the legislative building. There's other work that needs to get done and other deliverables that I think the people of Guam ought to be demanding. The next time you get stuck in traffic, you need to start fuming about that. You need to fume. You need to be asking, why am I stuck in traffic? Why is there not another way for me to get from point A to point B? Why am I at the mercy of people that don't know how to drive? Another one that you ought to be asking yourself is, why are you stuck behind the wheel? If you got to get stuck in traffic, I'd prefer to get stuck in traffic using somebody else's gas, i.e. the mass transit. That would be fun. And so ponder those kinds of things. And if you're so inclined, then join me in the Republican Party. All you have to do is agree with me, and I'm hoping 9 other people to make day one the legislature is part-time. All of the rest of it we'll handle in the budget, and all of the rest of it is bills that we will send with 10 votes attached so that they are veto-proof to Adelup, so that we can reorganize things on the fly and in what we would hope to be a more efficient and a government of Guam that actually works for the people of Guam, not the other way around. 20 away from 10 o'clock in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK. If we don't get lost in a conversation with Jack, remind me to talk about this program that, frankly, if I was a kid, I would love to get behind, the Junior Police Cadet Program. And they're running a pilot on it right now. But speaking of pilots, here's one of my favorite ones. Jack's going to pick up and pilot from here and put it in a pilot over there. Good morning, Jack.
Good morning, Raymond.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, just on the road issue, logistics is awful here in Guam. It doesn't matter if you're talking about merchandise on the shelf, or traffic. I don't think we need new roads. I think what we need is to re-engineer them and think about what they call roundabouts. I mean, when was the last time you were caught in traffic on Chalan Satapapa around that roundabout there? I mean, we need to think it's a math problem. And I don't think it's new roads that we need. I think we need to repair the roads that we have and then re-engineer them. And you need, people who are engineers and logicians to figure this out. It's just a math problem. That's all.
Well, why can't we, Jack? Why can't we do both? Why does it have to be either or? Why can't we do both? You've got to agree that there are places that if we had the opportunity would make great linking roads. I'm not saying we need to build a new Route 1 or a new Route 15 or even a new Route 2, but wouldn't it be cool if we had the opportunity to have another version of a cross island road?
But here's the thing: are you really solving the problem, or are you creating more? So. I really think that
I'm just saying we can do both. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think that there are places where we ought to be able to enjoy a new road and the opportunities that come with these new roads for housing developments and commerce. So yeah, why not? And I don't have a problem with roundabouts. I think it'll take decades for people to learn how to use them properly.
Well, because the new roads then will affect the math problem about the roundabouts. So, you need to look at your current design, what you have on map, what you have right now, and then you figure out the way. How do I make this? Like Bob always uses the word efficient.
Yeah, I'll bet you, Jack. I'll bet you somewhere in DPW there is a quote plan. There's a Guam Highway master plan.
There's always a master plan somewhere. So I wanted to, before that guy leaves from Toyota, you should ask him whether or not on new vehicles, whether the abandoned vehicle fees tacked on there, because he would know. So, before he leaves the building.
Real Joe.
Hey, man, if I buy a new vehicle, is the abandoned vehicle.
Faison, see John, and find out for the Jack. Okay, Real Joe he's leapt from his producer chair.
So just what else is on my mind?
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's about
monorail system. Wait, hold on. Who's asking for a monorail system? Somebody was asking about it.
So that requires a lot of land condemning. So I mean, unless you go across the ocean, I mean the beach side, I don't see no problem with that. But if you're talking about on land stuff, then that's a lot of.
Dave Duenas says, "Love the monorail idea. We'll do it from Big Navy to Anderson, and then a Route 1, Route 8, Route 16 loop, and then between Tumon."
The monorail will work great because we have a reef here. So I think building it on the ocean side. I mean that sounds great. I mean from one stop. I mean you won't be able to make intermittent stops. It'll be like a straightaway or something like that. But
wasn't it Madeline Berdalio that had an idea once upon a time to go across to Ganya Bay?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But logistics is really a big problem here. I mean, let's say Lent always falls around the same time, but when you go to the shelves, they're always out of canned fish. It never fails. The running club has certain events that are major events here in Guam. Whenever they always hold it on a certain day. They're announced in advance. There will always be shortage of bottled water. So we've always had a problem with logistics here in Guam. It doesn't matter whether it deals with everyday life or products or stuff like that, and that comes down to inventory control. That comes down to taxation. Like we need everybody takes this into consideration, but nobody does the math correctly. And we're finding that out as we learn from the virus coming out of China that, we need to get on the same page mathematically. And I think about the roads here in Guam. You need to look at what we have, how to make it more efficient. Before you build new roads, You need to work with, think about how you alleviate traffic the way it is. There's too many stoplights on Marine Drive.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're getting to be a point where there's too many stoplights, period. They're talking about putting another one in front of Payless on Route 8, which means that within a nothingth of a mile, I want to say maybe a 16th of a mile between the where Payless is and the intersection in front of Cars Plus. And then on the other side of that, we're not all that far away from an intersection over at the McMobile. So within less than a mile, there would be 3 intersections.
Yeah. So if you look at the Parkway that we have, was that really a new road, or did they? There was a section that was new, but it was just all they did was they thought about it mathematically.
It's a good looking that new section of road. From where Paul Packbeer's place is to Cars Plus, just absolutely gorgeous. And then it goes back to being a 2-lane road with no center turn lane or anything like that. Clear up to the Guam International Airport, and the reason is because that was land that Guam was already in control of. The land from Paul's place over to the airport is land that is still under the auspices of the original landowners who have not yet made a deal with the government of Guam, and frankly are holding up the process. And frankly, I think for the betterment of the people of Guam, number one, they shouldn't have gotten that land back. And number two, just the people of Guam absolutely got screwed on moving forward with that property. And because the legislature at the time had to make a big deal about screwing Governor Gutierrez. People with institutional knowledge and memories know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm all in favor of doing something good by way of these original landowners. But there is a way that they could have done it so that everybody could have gotten good use of that property, and we would be able to compensate over the long term, over a very, very long period of time, all the original landowners and their heirs as trustees in what was supposed to be the Teeds and Trust. But because it was Carl's idea, and because they had knuckleheads over at the legislature that would do anything possible to screw with Governor Gutierrez, they wouldn't let that fly.
Yeah, in the end, the greatest atrocity when it comes to land it has always been Chamorro on Chamorro.
Yep.
Okay, so have a great day, Rick. I
will, buddy. 9:47 in the morning, 888-8255. This is my buddy Jack is the telephone number. Well, how about that? There's good news all over the place that I'm getting on my phone here. Says, yeah. We've got roads opening up. The infusion is open up there, and everything seems to be returning to normal. And just in time, too, because it's almost the end of the show, and I might want to go drive on that particular piece of roadway. 9:48 in the morning. Okay, so I told you I was going to talk about if I was in this demographic now, I would be all about this. DOE and GPD partnered to offer Junior Police Cadet Pilot Program. And the Junior Police Cadet aims to incorporate the following goals. Character building, very important. Stranger danger, and what to do when you're confronted. Distance, assess, note, go get, escape, and report are the words that are formed when you look at DANGR. Remember, danger is one letter away from anger. Bullying prevention, drugs and alcohol prevention, and becoming a Crime Stopper, owning your community and not being afraid to report a crime. The program caters to 5th grade students and provides a 5-week curriculum, 55 minutes a week, and participating schools. And I hope I name one that your kids or grandkids are in. CL Taitano, Chief Brody, Maria Uzoa. Are you old enough to, whenever you say Chief Brody, still giggle just a little bit?
I am.
You Brody. Maria Uzoa Elementary, Dan Perez, Marshall Sablan Elementary School, and Mauricio Marchers Memorial School. If I was a 5th grader, I would totally be about this program.
You were in the safety patrol.
Yes. I was a safety patrol officer.
You were.
With my very good friend Ron Sablan. Yes, that Sablan family used to live in Tumon, behind where DFS is now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You regulated the hallways.
Oh, yeah, we were regulators. But and I did it for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I thought it was pretty cool on my patrol boy days to wear the St. Anthony blue pants with the light blue trim down the side of it, like policeman trim.
That
was how we denoted each other as patrol boys. and patrol girls, because we had patrol girls and they had a sash. They had a separate sash that they could wear. It was the coolest thing, because you didn't have to run to your nearest class. And the only thing I also had to remember was on patrol boy days, I had to wear the shirt that actually had the embroidered St. Anthony School emblem on it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because most of the time, I don't know what it was. So even though I was a patrol boy, I was still, a questioner of authority. And sometimes I didn't want to wear my white shirt with the emblem on it. Sometimes I just wanted to. And so the patrol boy would catch you, and the option was you have to go to sister's office, go see Natty, and buy a patch. And it's the old school patches, right? There was no adhesive on the back, so it ironed. So grandma or somebody had to sew it for me, or safety pin. You could put a safety pin, and that was fine until you realize after one washing, the SAS thing would start to curl, and you couldn't make it out. Anyways, these are random memories from my childhood, and a couple of the happiest years of my life being a student at St. Anthony School. 9:51 in the morning. Should I take a break? I probably should. All right, I'll be right back, and then we will go through. Wait a second. Did you find John?
He's split. He left fast. He was done already in the other studio.
I forgot what Jack wanted anyway.
Wanted to know about the abandoned vehicle fund.
Whether it goes on new cars. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Junior police who teach them how to do the open palm strike on a guy's stomach. You're funny. You're funny, Nick. 9:51. Okay, I'll be right back. Excuse me.
Chili's 2 for $25 is back. Start with an appetizer to share. Then choose 2 entrees like our mouth-watering Old Timer with cheeseburger or the Cajun chicken pasta, grilled chicken with penne and Alfredo sauce, and chili spices. Feeling extra? Upgrade to a personal fajita or our famous half-rack ribs. Bring a friend or a date to Chili's and get 2 entrees for $25. Located on the 2nd floor of Tumon Sands Plaza. Chili's. More life happens here.
Hafa Day. This is Alicia Blas from Security Title with a gentle reminder that your first installment of property taxes is due February 20. You might not know, but if you purchase property after March 4, 2019, you most likely will not receive a tax bill in the mail, but you still owe the tax. To make payment, take a copy of your deed to Revenue Tax in Barragata and ask for the tax bill. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Kenny Williams, who I will put down as one of the smart guys. I think he's smarter than me. Says roundabouts are a winner. Let's do roundabouts. Okay. All right. I'm just okay. I like the roundabout. I like the roundabout that we have over at the Archbishop Circle. Do they have to be all big? Because they don't all have to be huge, right? Because that one, it seems to occupy a big chunk of space. What is it, an acre?
I think it depends on the outlets, how many outlets you have
I guess.
on a roundabout.
Yeah. Well, I suppose there's a place where you can go and you can calculate, this many roads going in, this many, ways going out, whether it's got to be 2 lanes or 1 lane or something like that. And it's not terrible. But I will admit to not being a good roundabout guy, because there are people that will use that particular roundabout. It's a rare case, but there are people that will use it to go straight, go around the roundabout, and then make that turn to the back side to the hospital.
Yeah.
All right. Don't do that when I'm down there. When I'm at that intersection, I want to join that line of traffic. And as far as I'm concerned, if I'm on the left-hand lane already, or the right-hand lane already, I should go by virtue of being me. I should just go. But somebody pointed out to me once to avoid a fender bender that there's an actual yield sign on my side.
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, how long has this been here? And they were like, since 1985. That sign has been there since they made this roundabout. Oh, how about that? Had no idea. And now my most hated roundabouty thing that we have here on Guam is the Kapuha Loop.
Oh, yeah.
I, to this day, have no idea what is accomplished by the Kapuha Loop.
I have no idea either.
Right? What does it do?
I don't have
What are we trying to do? I mean, if the idea was kind of a roundabout, it only meets up with 1 line of traffic.
Maybe it was just to create a park.
Why couldn't we put a left-hand? Why didn't we make a left-hand turn there?
Yeah.
What
Over to
does
Route 4?
Yeah, under Route 4. I mean, the Koreans do it every day. The FIT drivers are doing it every day. They just stop and go. I should have a light here. Why don't I have a left-hand pointed arrow here? But again, that's the question. It goes back a long, many years when they first put it together. I said, what is this supposed to do? And okay, I'm looking at Facebook Live. I'm looking for somebody to give me an answer. Nope, got nothing. We don't know why we put the Kapua loop there. It just is. And a question from somebody this morning. Is it Nick? Yeah, I think it was Nick that was asking, whatever happened to... Those are great. There's any great Guam story begins with whatever happened to. Whatever happened to the office that was supposed to monitor traffic at all the intersections and had the ability to correct traffic timing? This is the lore and legend of Guam. It actually existed. There was a place. There was a traffic control division at highways and public safety right across the street. And they had the capability of zooming in on the major intersections. They didn't have these things everywhere. But they had sensors up on the poles. And I want to say they had cameras, too, that you could look and see the traffic, and you knew when it was building up. And if you knew the traffic was unusually heavy in one direction, you could change the sequencing and the timing of the lights to favor clearing up these roadways faster, or if you got something big happening at the UOG Fieldhouse, rather than having traffic backed up as people leave, you could make it so that the lights could would be times to let more traffic out from that area onto Route 15. Sorry, 10. And they had guys that did that, and then we had a typhoon.
Caller said it all blew away at Pong Songhua.
That's the typhoon.
Oh.
It was one of the last big ones that we had, and it knocked down a bunch of the utility fixtures. And they got the traffic lights back up. They got them working again, but they never did put the cameras back in. Never did any of that stuff. Now you got me thinking about it. There used to be another sensor that they had on the lights that listened to the frequency of a siren.
Oh yeah, and it turned the lights from
it would
red
turn the
to
light.
green.
Yeah, it would turn the light red to green if it was already
Yeah.
red. If it could hear that there was an ambulance or a fire truck or a police car coming through that needed to get through traffic, it would help by making the light go in the green. I don't know that they have that technology anymore because, frankly, the last couple of times I've been at an intersection where there was an ambulance coming through, that light stayed rock hard red and did not move, and so we all had to kind of flashers on and very slowly make our way through the intersection so that the ambulance could get through. So I don't know about that. And boy, doesn't it seem like that would be simple technology out there?
Yep.
Just, like there should be an app. You could control it with an app. Right, the guy sitting co-pilot riding shotgun in the ambulance could just go, okay, I'm here on the roadway, and we've got a GPS on my vehicle, and we've got a traffic system that knows where I am and what lights ahead of me. You could do this with Uber cars. Why can't we do this with ambulances? Right? I mean, it sounds like Smug Wimp could write the code for that in about an afternoon. We get the GPS of the car, and we know where the traffic light is, and we know what the situation with the light is, and so we can turn that light on as it knows that this machine, this vehicle that is coming in on code red, needs that light to go green. Somebody write that. Somebody write the code for me and then sell it to the government of Guam and make millions of dollars from the government. Sherry says roundabout only works if people space themselves. Tailgating it doesn't work, and you have to yield to cars that are already in the circle. Yeah, that's a painful lesson I learned. Thanks, Sherry. You co-pilot for me one of these days. You run shotgun with Ray. I think I'm going to ride shotgun with Agnes because she got that big Tundra, and I said let's go off-roading. And, when I was a little kid, off-roading meant, visiting the tank farms and, punching through over at Leo Palace or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, off-roading anymore. You do that at places in Marine Corps Drive, feel like you're off-roading. That's why you get the big Tundra with the Dick C-Pec tires. You remember Dick C-Pec tires? You could hear those things coming a mile away. Got to get an extra loud radio for that. 10 o'clock in the morning. Look, the radio station is KUSG again. Thanks. I appreciate you sticking around for the show today and mumbling through all of the traffic issues. Hopefully it doesn't happen again tomorrow. We'll see. And if it does, we'll be here with you with the information that you need to try to save you from those problems. The radio station is KUSG again. For Real Joe and Montesilva Tyron and Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point. This is Ray Gibson saying, love you, mean it. See you tomorrow.
Debate night. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Ahead of Saturday's Nevada caucuses, the Democratic presidential candidates will face off in Las Vegas tonight, with New York's former mayor making his debut on the stage.
All the